order. This is an extra bonus episode. It's our first bonus episode of the Saturday Afternoon Movie Club. We are taking a swing with this because I personally, the Mission Impossible franchise has been part of my life for 30 years. 29, I guess, technically, if you really want to count it up.
Technically, it's been a part of all of our lives.
Right.
For 30 years.
Oh, yeah, we had a real The Rock. He's my age. That guy's my age now. Like, we're doing that again. It's your age. Oh, that episode's not even out yet.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert on something for the next real episode. This movie came out, and I was shocked to find this out because not that it's true, but that I did it, that it's something I found out and not something I knew. I have the weird, like, this lock trap brain for movies and situations or whatever. Like, I could tell you the day I saw Die Hard with a Vengeance, but somehow this one came out May 22nd, 1996, the first Mission Impossible movie. That was my last day of school. My graduation ceremony was May 23rd. May 20th. I probably saw it that weekend. Odds are good I saw it that Friday, like that day that the day it came out, but there also might have been graduation stuff. But I did see this in the theater. I've seen all of them in the theater except for 2. And not 2 wasn't a judgment call on my part. It was that 2000, like that period of time. I didn't see a lot. I was broke and I was busy. Try not to be broke. And I just wasn't seeing theater movies as much. So I could go back and look at the 2000 movies. There's probably a lot I didn't see in the theater. But I saw all of them in the theater. I love this movie. This was a TV show that my dad liked. So we watched the original show. They tried to make it a movie in 1986. It was the first time Paramount tried to make it into a movie.
Oh, wow.
And it didn't work. So they instead formatted it and like rebooted the TV show. So there was another season of a Mission Impossible TV show in 1988. That might have even been the one I saw. Like, I can't remember which version or whatever, but I definitely remember Peter Graves being in it. So I don't know if he was in the reboot or not. I should have looked it up. This movie was before Tom Cruise was in charge of Hollywood. It was right before. This might have been the thing that let him be in charge of Hollywood for a while, or since. Because this is the first movie he produced.
Right.
The first Cruise Wagner production.
I don't want to derail you, but it's the usual crew today, and we also have Paul Heinrich as a guest. We didn't say what's up to everybody.
Glad to be back.
Oh, yeah, I lunged right into it, didn't I? Oops.
Yeah, you were so excited. You were just like, let's get this mission going.
Paul Capri Pants.
Yeah, Paul Capri Pants.
Right? We're going to make this podcast if you choose to accept.
Okay, I won't do anymore. Copyright infringement.
Right? That's just enough.
Yeah.
3 more notes.
I can name that song in 2 notes.
Can I say a super quick funny story about the song real quick?
Yeah.
I went and saw The Room at Cinema 21 with Tommy Wiseau. And there's a part in there where his character is installing a listening device on the phone to catch his girlfriend cheating. And when that happens at like a shadow showing, people will sing the Mission Impossible song while he is hooking up the listening device.
Oh, that's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a funny scene in I think it's Wayne's World 2 where they do trying to spy on things and they play the song, but it's not the song. It's enough of the song to be like, oh, it's Mission Impossible, but it's not. So they didn't actually buy the rights. They just played a knockoff
that's so funny.
Mission Impossible version. This is the only thing I want to mention from the trivia is just from the first one, and it's surprising to me that anybody besides Tom Cruise was even considered. But Ethan Hunt was straight up offered to George Clooney, and he turned it down because he was working on One Fine Day, which is that's a fun movie, but they only made one of them. They didn't make 8.
There wasn't 2 Fine Day.
No.
3 Fine Day.
2 Fine 2 Day.
Yeah,
2 Fine 2 Day.
Fine. Too Furious. Fast Fine Day. Yeah. Day 5.
Right? Fast Day.
Fast Day.
Furious Day.
Yeah.
Fast and Furious Day. Furious Day. The day of the fast.
And then there was Day Hobbs and Shaw.
Right? Hobbs Day Shaw.
Hobbs Day Shaw.
Apparently, Bruce Willis, John Travolta, Nicolas Cage, Ray Fiennes, and Mel Gibson were considered before Tom Cruise.
Say them again.
Bruce Willis, Travolta, Nick Cage, Ray Fiennes, and Mel Gibson.
What a crazy franchise this would be with Nick Cage.
Oh my God.
What a crazy.
Would it have gone the full 9?
Maybe
yards?
I feel like I want
That
the
would've
Tom
been
Cruise one there,
insane.
but I also like to live in an alternative reality
with the Nick Cage
with the
one.
Nick Cage one too. That would be fun. That would be my pick if it wasn't Tom.
He's just
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't know. I don't think this goes anywhere.
I think there'd be a
with
lot
Cage.
less acrobatics and a lot more just like dressing up and mask play stuff.
And screaming.
It's
And-
Wild characters.
Yeah. As like a spy thriller, that sounds amazing.
Has Nick Cage ever made a third?
A third.
Like he makes
oh wait,
there's
National
2 National
Treasure,
Treasures, 2 Ghost Riders. But no, like he never
Good
gets past
point.
the third. Like he never gets past the second thing.
No.
And I think Mission Impossible 2, like if Nick Cage is in it and he's in Mission Impossible 2, the whole thing is done.
It's
yeah,
done.
Yeah.
It's just toast. I think
Especially with that hair.
right because right. I think the fact that Tom Cruise spent 6 years not making Mission Impossibles and instead made Minority Report and War of the Worlds and like big hits.
Mm-hmm.
That it was easier for him to be like, and I want to make another Mission Impossible.
Sure.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
The second one made a ton of money, but the second ones usually do when the first one's popular.
Yeah.
It just wasn't as well
It's the
loved.
highest growing John Woo film.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It was
right.
his magnum opus.
Right?
I've never been angrier to have a mic in my face.
What?
I'm going to keep saying it. There's a reason that this is the podcast that I'm on. That is my favorite one of the whole thing. It's why I exist in this podcast. I have terrible taste. I love that movie so much. And I'm really trying not to talk too much about 2 because I'm just going to make every single part about 2. We're like, oh yeah, the music? Well, the music in 2. I know a bunch of stuff about that.
Well, 2's on the list. We know
I
it's
know.
coming. We're going to
I'm
talk
holding
about
back,
it right
dude.
after
Holding back.
1.
Bite your tongue. We're in
Yeah.
one.
Bite your new metal tongue, Bjorn.
Right? So Mission Impossible is the most missioniest impossibilist
Yeah.
of the 8. It's
Well said.
a lot of, mass. It's a lot from the show. It's a lot of spy stuff. It's the closest to like a Bond movie
Yeah.
or whatever. As far as I know,
It's more
I
of a
haven't seen
spy
enough.
movie than a Bond movie. I feel like they went more
that makes
Bond
me,
on
that makes
the
me
third
think I
one,
don't understand what Bond movies are.
or the second one.
I was pretty sure he was a spy. But that's just from reading the box.
Yeah.
I never knew. He was a doctor in the first one. He had diamonds forever in one of them. He had a dope balcony that overlooked probably some kind of murder.
He was a veterinarian, owned an octopus.
Right?
Yeah.
All kinds of shenanigans.
Right? He's right. I'm not sure what his job is, but it
It's not
does
spy.
have like an intricate story. I guess there was complaints at the time that it was confusing, but we watched it yesterday and it's not confusing. It's intricate, but that's not the same as confusing. I could explain
I'm going to go
I could
out
explain the
and
plot.
say I do remember this movie being confusing and my parents having to explain it to me.
I do too.
Because
Yeah,
I was
but-
pretty young when I saw it the first time.
yeah, but that's your answer. It's not the movie is an intricate movie, but it's not. I watched 3 Days of the Condor, The Parallax View, or like
I will say I followed it mostly this time, but it did a thing where I didn't know what the fuck a knock list was until 3/4 of the way through the movie.
Yeah, they don't.
So I
Come
did
right out
not
and say it.
understand what the stakes
Sounds like
were.
a list of the porn
Right.
that I collect.
But like the whole time I'm thinking, I don't understand the stakes of this movie because I don't know what this list is.
Do you remember a movie from 2010 called Fair Game?
No.
It was based on a true story about a lady named Valerie Plame, who was outed by, I think, Robert Novak, like a TV correspondent. I might be wrong about who did it, but she was a knock agent.
Okay.
She worked. Her husband worked in in the government, and she had an overseas job. But whatever her job was a cover for her, because it's just non-official cover, and it's essentially every IMF agent is a knock agent. Like the you will be disavowed if you're caught.
Yeah.
That's what those are agents that will be disavowed. That will not be. So that's all it is just a list of agents.
Right. And I got that. It's just like that wasn't revealed at all. Or I should say that wasn't revealed until the third act.
Right. They don't explain it. The only reason I bring it, like why I said all of that is this one's real. Like this is the thing where the MacGuffin is a real thing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Based on real life.
yeah.
Yeah.
There is a list of those somewhere probably. Like
I'm just realizing that knock list is a C, not a K.
yeah.
Sorry. He's gonna just punch me. We're so close. He's gonna swing this mic into my face.
We're close, and I also can't access anything without slamming my body into this
If
microphone.
the spy layers are rocking, don't
Yeah.
come a knocking.
Come knocking.
So dumb, I know. But yeah, the knock list.
The knock
Yeah.
list.
Yeah. Right. Every all the other MacGuffins were like invented. The fourth one was some kind of bomb, and bombs exist, so that's not that big a deal. But
I
What's a
guess-
MacGuffin?
it's the thing you chase. Like isn't that Hitchcock? Hitchcock made up that
I
word.
think so. That
Okay.
sounds right. Yeah, it's the thing everybody's going after.
Okay, I knew. I guess I knew what it was. I just didn't know where it came from, or
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say Scotland.
Scotland.
Just
Fuck off.
based-
Yeah, it does sound
It
Scottish.
sounds Scottish.
Read the spelling.
Yeah, it's the spelling.
The spelling makes it sound Scottish.
There's a
Also,
couple
there are
Ks in
some.
there.
What are those? The AMC's have like a big AMC with a bar. The bar is called MacGuffins.
I didn't know that.
that's
I know
kinda cool.
it's pretty dumb because it's right there.
Yeah.
Like I know where it is.
And everybody
I
can
can just go get it.
right
It's not
now.
hidden.
Yeah.
Right, there's no password. You can just walk right up to it. It's not really a MacGuffin. It's a spoiler. It should be called spoilers.
Yeah, and all
'Cause
the
it's-
doors are Chekhov doors.
Yeah. Right. That is the thing we noticed when we.
so
There'll
many
be-
Chekhovs.
There's Chekhov things from the first act that come up in the third, but then there's
Yeah.
Chekhov things that come up that get payoff in the next scene. There's Chekhovs everywhere in these.
There's repeated Chekhovs too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chekhov lip reading.
There's a Chekhov. There's 3 Chekhov knives.
Oh,
In the
yeah.
first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or there's at least 2.
I'm pretty sure it's the same knife each time.
It is the same knife each time.
It's like
Yeah, there's
standard
another
issue.
knife in one of them, and I was like, oh, is that the? It's not.
Right. That's like the one thing that I can't really wrap my head around is because there's too many like that's something that I don't like from the first. The one thing I don't like from the first one is there was like a couple of like dream scenes or
Mhm.
it could have played out like this scene and then but this is how it really happened part.
Yeah.
And it's not even that it's unclear in the movie, it's that because of that it makes it unclear in my head which thing was the real
Yeah.
thing or not. Like, did Jean Renault kill that lady on the gate?
Yeah.
And if so, what the fuck?
Mhm.
Why was he involved in that? And then just dumb luck. Ethan's going through the list trying to find disavowed agents to help him with his mission, and he finds 3, and one of them was involved in the thing that caused him to be in this.
Well,
that is all
That was
confusing.
the female lead in this movie. She apologizes to Ethan Hunt after Jean Renault's character messes up, and she says, "I'm sorry, I picked him. I apologize."
Oh
for
my
what I
god!
picked."
So for 30 years, thank God we did this. Now I
Yeah.
know because
She
she
picked
turned out
him.
to be bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Spoiler alert.
Oh yeah,
Spoiler
I never
alert.
put that together. Spoiler.
Right, so he was
Already on
involved.
He was
He
involved.
did kill that lady
Yeah.
on the gate. It was the same knife. What kind of lunatic keeps a knife?
Yeah.
Never keep the knife.
Never
You're
keep the
standing
He was
next
like,
to a
I thought he
river.
was a professional.
He was knife happy
Wait,
too.
wait.
You talking about Leon, the professional?
Okay. How could that have been the same knife? Only because it was.
Yeah.
I know it was. I know canon it is. But doesn't Ethan
he
pull
pulls
the
it
knife
out.
out and
Yeah.
have it?
So
Does
there,
he just leave it at the scene?
He puts
and then
it in his
he
pocket
recovers
and then
it?
drops it
because
as
it's
he's
that
getting out of
important
the
to
thing.
him? That's a great question.
Yeah.
Maybe when he makes the new team, Leon is like, "Hey, has anybody got a knife?" And he's just like, "I have an extra. I found it."
I got
found
this
this one.
one. Found it in this girl.
Right, and then he slides it into a case on his belt. That's exactly. It just fits perfectly.
Could you imagine him dropping the knife? He's like, "Hey, that's still a good knife," and runs back and
Yeah.
grabs it.
Just wash it off.
It's still good.
Right,
Put hair-
so
It'll
you're
put
right.
hair on
So
your chest.
Yeah.
Fucking
it
Ghostface.
didn't
that
make
shit.
sense. Then you made it make sense, and now it doesn't make sense again a little bit. But a different part of it doesn't make sense, and that part is less necessary
Yeah.
because it could just be he liked that knife and bought a case.
Yeah.
Right, I like Diet Mountain Dew. I don't buy them one at a time.
Did they have Costco for spies back
Yeah.
then? Is that what was happening?
Buy Costco.
I mean, they sell knives at Costco.
Yeah. So it's quite possible.
I mean, rope.
Right. Yeah, rope, knives, hot tubs.
Everything you need for a spy.
Leon's got all his shit.
Laptop.
A single plant, one potted plant he could walk around with, a coat that's too long for the summertime, and a hat he made.
And a dumb allergy.
Right? What a ridiculous! He's allergic to rats. That shouldn't be. That's my main.
Yeah. What?
Like coming back to that building and the vault and the
Yeah.
everything in that building is pristine, but somehow there's a full ass rat
Rat in the vent.
in a super clean ventilation system.
Yeah.
But there's a rat
And they passed
and just
it.
one, and it just saunters up.
Ooh, is it
Yeah,
symbolism
it just kind of
What's
like
up?
that he sneezes at rats and he is a rat?
Oh.
Oh.
Oh
Was
shit! No, that's
Mhm.
probably it.
We're solving mysteries today.
That
Yeah, but
probably
that's a
fucking
stupid
is
mystery.
it.
Like,
Right,
They
so
probably
it's the
fucking-
all rats
Scorsese
are
rat.
allergic to rats.
It's the Scorsese rat from the end of the
I wonder if he's
Departed.
allergic to
yeah.
moles too.
Right, it's one of those.
Yep.
They're giving us a hint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hint.
Holy
All right, now I hate it even more. But yeah, this movie, the first one, it had such cool stunts, and it was like the beginning of Tom Cruise doing all the stunts. Like,
Yeah. De Palma kind of made him.
right, the thing on the train, that train scene, the super bullet train thing.
Yeah.
Like clearly, like that train's not moving. That is a lot of CGI for something that Tom Cruise is in. It's where we've been conditioned at this point.
Well, it's
That
not
he's doing it
CGI. I
for
think
real.
it's green
Green
screen
screen.
with footage.
And
Yeah,
win.
because he bought He bought like
But this is one of those where I just always say the wrong thing. Like that feels like putting it
That's-
on the screen. Still, that's what George
There's an
Lucas
element of
did.
CG, yeah.
So I just say that as like
Okay.
Same folder.
I don't know patents well enough to. So I will say it wrong again. Like you can ask my brother and my bestie. They I would just say download, like any computer thing. I would just overuse the word download because I didn't know any other computer words.
Did you download that email? That's so funny.
But yeah, I uploaded it. I typed it. Me typing it is
You
I'm
uploading it?
uploading all my thoughts into this email. Do I have to fold it up to get into the packet? Is it a real packet? Right. This is from the '90s when they try to explain it, and they're like, "It sends these packets over radio waves." You're like, how do you? Does
how do
it-
I clip it?
How do you know if it fits? They found Tom Cruise was insistent to make that train fight thing look real.
Yeah.
He found the only existing one in Europe of a skydiving simulator fan. So they were being hit with 140-mile-an-hour wind. They were
Yeah.
just in a studio.
Yeah.
That's so like the face and his face wobbling and
Mhm.
the coats and the shirts flapping.
It
That's
makes
real.
it hold up.
Yeah.
Because then you aren't really thinking about how it it's CGI. They've downloaded a CGI image
Yeah.
into the wall.
Right? They download the picture of the outside and then they upload it onto the wall. And it would look stupid if it wasn't windy.
Yeah. And then in the next one, he was like, I better grow my hair out so we can really sell this thing. My hair is way too short for this long of a fan.
There is like, for the first like 6 or 7 Star Trek movies, there was a pattern that held where the odd number ones were boring and the even number ones were dope. Like 2, 4, and 6 are fun. 1, 3, and 5 are kind of rough. But that's what Mission Impossible does that, but with Tom Cruise hair.
Paul, pull up.
Short in 1, long in 2, short in 3, long in 4, short in 5, long in 6, and then mid-length 7 to 8.
Paul's got something that he was showing me right before we started recording while we were hanging out.
I made my AI create a graph of the length of his hair
Whoa.
in each movie.
Holy shit. Show
Yeah.
that to the camera.
Yeah, show it to the camera. So it was like,
It's very out of focus that close. I don't know why I asked you to do that. There's nobody
alright.
pulling focus.
whatever. It's not. We'll get
But
there.
Yeah, you're right. His hair. It's like the graph goes bloop, bloop, bloop.
Right, that's how you tell. And then it isn't until, I don't know, maybe 5 when he gets the barrel, when he has like that barrel chest, when he starts to get that Stallone, I'm too old to be this strong look,
Yeah.
but I'm still this strong. So it's all up here. It's all chest. Got to skip chest day every now and then. You can't only do chest, my man.
He's like, keep your eyes right here.
This is, but I don't. He probably doesn't
That's
even
the
lift weights. This is all like that's just how strong his cardio is from all the movies.
Yeah.
All the running takes.
Yeah.
He just got it. Those are lungs. His lungs are so big now
Yeah.
from
Like,
all the running
have to
and
remove the muscles
breath
for
holding.
breath holding.
It's
He's like, his moneymaker's just drooping. It's down here now.
yeah.
It's my
It
new
all comes from here.
moneymaker.
Bah, 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 bah.
He honestly takes his clothes off twice in the last one, Randall. Like, it's like he's like, oh, I got to go for a run in the submarine. And so he's like in his boxer shorts. And then later on he's escaping and like things are getting attached. So he like has to rip it all off again. You know, it's like,
He's gotta get
okay,
out.
we get it. You work out.
You know what? Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
I'm glad he has that.
And it's really cold. So it's,
of course
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
how they level it up, right? Like they like each movie has bigger stunts. So the most recent one, what's left?
well,
Nothing. So they've just made he was on the outside of a plane, so he's on the outside of a plane, but this plane's smaller and it's a little more rickety, so everything seems less stable, so it's more dangerous. He did the holding his breath one in the 5 or 6 or whatever, 5.
here's one of my problems with these movies. He never uses flippers. What? Why no flippers ever at any point? There's a couple times he's like doing free dives and stuff. It's like, I don't know, like put
Is
on
it-
some bigger shoes or something.
Is it planned most of the time?
Yeah.
The underwater bits?
Well, yeah, that
yeah.
specifically in this one, he gets that like in the most recent one, the dive he does, he gets the suit from
He's in a submarine.
a Navy SEAL, like
Oh.
Yeah,
And he
it's
had
like
no
a-
flippers in that?
yeah,
no
it's official.
flippers.
Oh.
None.
Huh.
I was like, why no flippers, dude? I feel like that would have gotten him. He would have gotten out of that. Sorry, this is giving a little bit of. He would have gotten out of that submarine so much easier if he just had a couple of flippers. I'm not even that into diving, but I feel like flippers are
Oh, they
everything.
make you way
You mostly
faster.
use the flippers. Like
Yeah.
that's mostly what you do when you dive. And he's like, nah,
Well, I can't.
I don't ride a motorcycle with a helmet, and I don't dive with flippers.
I don't want to. I don't want to go too far into it, but I think I can poke holes in that.
Oh, yeah.
Just that specific thing, but I don't want to give anything away. He does exit the fallen submarine through a torpedo tube, which is awesome
It is.
and possible, but awesome. Like I know one of the guys that does security on the tour sometimes was a Navy SEAL and told us that he did that once. He didn't tell us what he did because he can't, but they had one of the things they did. They had to like exfiltrate. They had to get somewhere without anybody knowing, so they were like taken out in a submarine. And to get out of the submarine, they put everybody in the team into the torpedo tube, and then the torpedo tube fills with water. So you go in. So one side opens, You climb in, close it, fill it with water to pressurize, and then open the outside, and then they swim out. And he said that of all the fucking Navy SEAL stuff he did, being in that tube was the scariest thing he ever did.
Yeah.
It's so small. And it just fills with water. You're just like,
I'm sweating just listening to the
I
story.
hate that so much.
Oh, I know. It's awesome, though. That guy's awesome. So let's go back to 1. What's your favorite part of 1? Mission Impossible, the original of the movies. There was 2 versions of the TV show.
I'll go first.
Yeah, please do.
Gum on the fish tank.
Gum
on the fish tank. Hasta lasagna. Don't get any on you. Just an amazing. Oh my god.
And the way he
now,
jumps out of that with the water. I saw that shot randomly this morning as I was like watching stuff. I saw that at full speed, and like he like really did that. Like a guy gets like thrown out the window, and then he jumps out very soon after him. It's like cool.
So what happened for that scene is Brian De Palma shot it with a stuntman, and then he went back and checked the gate. And when he watched it, he's like, "Tom, come here," and he makes him watch it. He goes, "You have to do this.
Oh,
This isn't gonna work. You have to do this." And Tom was like, "Okay,
I'm doing my stunts forever."
That is what started him
Wow.
doing his own stunts.
Good job, Brian
Or
De
doing a
Palma.
lot of his own stunts.
it's amazing.
Or
Yeah.
claiming to do. That's when he started claiming it.
Right.
That's where the lies started. I'm kidding.
In this room, we're us guys. We're not the guys that wrote the Fall Guy. We're us guys. I believe that. I'm into it. I think it's cool. And guess what? If the guys that wrote the Fall Guy are right, I still don't care. The movies are dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like both movies. I like whatever.
Don't worry,
like,
Tom. I do think you're crazy.
Yeah.
I think he's so into making movies. Like, he learned to fly a helicopter. According to the press, he learned to fly the helicopter for the 6th one. Like, he learns how to do the shit to an extent where, depending on the stakes, I think he'd probably be a pretty good lawyer. He's been a lawyer in 3 movies, and the fact that he learned to fly a helicopter to be in a scene where he flew a helicopter means I bet he learned enough about being a lawyer that
He could probably
he
pass
could
the
handle
bar
some
right away.
small claim shit.
I would love to see that happen just to see how close he gets to A Few Good Men.
Right?
Oh, that'd be cool.
A few good men. I mean, Jerry Maguire, the guy's got a law degree. Got to have a law degree to have that job.
I'd have him represent me.
And
Right,
I
he's a
also want to
senator in
see
Lions for
how
Lions.
many witnesses say you can't handle the truth to whatever he says.
Just setting him up.
Yeah, they're just waiting and like, you can't handle the truth.
What? Is there anything I can't handle? Right, you just shoehorn it in. Is there anything you'd like me to show you?
Your Honor, my eyes were wide shut on that one.
Oh man.
Oh man, I choose to accept that you can't handle the truth. Anyway, Lions for Lambs was kind of a drag.
There's never tomorrow.
Never Tomorrow. Why do you keep changing the titles of your movies? You think I'm gonna call it Live, Die, Repeat? I learned to call it Edge of Tomorrow. I ain't calling that shit Gulf of Tomorrow or whatever you want to fucking change it to now.
The Gulf of Tomorrow.
How dare you?
Tomorrow.
Oh man.
If you look at Exhibit A, I have my Minority Report.
Right? And over here is just a war of the words.
This is turning.
Yes, I want to hire him now.
Yeah. I mean, even if I lose, it'd still be fucking
It's still
cool. It'd be
worth
better
it.
than winning with a
Yeah.
normal lawyer.
Right.
Right?
You
Me
know-
and Tom Cruise lost his case.
Yeah.
I thought he'd be good, right? We're on the news.
What's
It's
his
like the end of the People's Court when they interview. I don't know. I thought he was a lawyer in a bunch of movies. He learned to fly a helicopter.
He
I
didn't
thought
bring
he'd
A
be-
Few Good Men cruise. He brought
Yeah.
Mummy cruise. So, I don't know.
What would his law firm be called? Risky Business.
Yeah. Risky business. The little words
It's a Risky
underneath.
Business LLC.
Not really a lawyer, but come on. I could probably do it. You hire me, you're in quite a risk. But
Tom, how qualified are you? Legend.
legend.
Oh, legend.
Legend. We're stupid. We fucked up the bit. All right, we'll cut all this.
It's okay.
Now say what do you call his firm?
What do you call his firm?
The firm.
The firm.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Right? Thank God we edited all that nonsense before it got to it so clean and looked so fucking sharp.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this bit is legendary.
Legend. Air is where you skydance. That's his name of his production company. Anyway, they're gonna make a Tropic Thunder 2, starring his character. That's what are we still doing the first one? Luther.
Yes.
The fact that the Ving Rhames goes from Pulp Fiction to Mission Impossible Hacker, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He was so because he still has that mid-90s Luther, mid-90s Ving Rhames is fucking dope.
Swagger.
Yeah, it's great.
Can we talk about how I bet Emilio is really bummed that he agreed to do the thing that he agreed to do?
No.
Where he was like, oh, that would be fun, just like a little side project or whatever, and then no more movies. Like, what else was he in?
Right,
a couple more D's and.
I mean, I feel like I don't know for sure about Emilio, but if he feels like a guy that checked himself out,
Yeah.
because the next few things he made were things he made. Like he made that Bobby Kennedy movie. He made a movie called The Public that was in Cincinnati about a public library, like a protest or something at the Cincinnati Downtown Public Library. Like he's made some interesting stuff on his own, but he just stopped doing much else. But it was one of those, like, Emilio Estevez in Mission Impossible is a direct comp to Drew Barrymore in Scream.
Yeah.
The famous person
Mhm.
dies, so then you are on your toes the rest of the movie because anything could happen. The difference between the two is I don't think people now would go back and see that movie. Like, it doesn't feel like a cameo
No.
for what happened after.
Right.
Yeah.
It just feels like, because what happened after, that feels like what Emilio would get at that time.
Yeah.
And it'd be like if Emilio's whole face was on the front cover of Mission
Yeah,
right.
Impossible.
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore, that relaunched her career, so it feels more like a cameo now than it did at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went the other way.
She was a known person, but not a movie star really. Like riding in Cars with Boys and Mad Love.
Because she
Stuff
did
like
she do
that.
Batman Forever?
She did do Batman
really
Forever.
but she's like, it's a non-speaking, practically
No, it's
non-speaking
it's
role.
a speaking role. She has a couple lines and 2 scenes with Jim Carrey. I know
Right.
the
She
movie
has
very well.
she has the same screen time as Debbie Mazar. Like,
Yeah.
so that means that in Batman Forever, she was at the level of Debbie Mazar, which they're both great. Like,
Yeah.
Debbie Mazar is a great actor, and she's in So I Married an Axe Murder and Empire Records and stuff. She's great, but nobody would say that. 5 years later, nobody would say that they're at the same level, right? Because you go back and watch Wayne's World 2 now. Drew Barrymore's in Wayne's World 2. Feels like a cameo now, but at the time, that was just what Drew Barrymore would get in like. She made like Poison Ivy, which was essentially just Cinemax.
Yeah.
But they weren't as quick to just put things on video. Like, she had been a star earlier in the early 80s or whatever. E.T. Everybody knows who Drew Barrymore is.
All right, so favorite parts. Sorry, I really derailed the whole thing.
I think I just kind of liked Brian De Palma's just all the
Yes.
Dutch angles
Yep.
were so cool. The colors were so cool.
The fucking coverage
Yeah.
of the scene between Ethan Hunt and what's the IMF guy's name? Kurt.
Which, Kittredge?
John
Yes,
Boyd?
Kittredge.
Uh-huh.
In front of the fish tank?
Kittredge.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that
the
conversation?
fucking-
Yeah.
That was
Dude.
great.
Like,
It was
crazy.
beautiful.
It was so. Brian De Palma and his DP knocked it out of the fucking park on
And
that.
the whole
But my
opening is-
favorite thing was, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, is that scene where he's instructed how to meet Max, and it's a first person, so you don't even see Tom Cruise. It's just the camera moving to the bench to ask for a light.
Yeah.
And they put him in the back of the car, and they're like, "Take your hat off."
Yeah.
Right? We never saw the hat.
We don't know what
Yeah.
kind of hat he's wearing.
Yeah.
And that pisses me off. Is it a fedora? What's going on there?
Is he dressing up? Is he dressing down? What are we doing?
I can't remember him wearing it. Because he wears a Scully in 2.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
What kind of hat?
what was he wearing in that? Because he was
Yeah.
wearing a suit, so he's not wearing a Scully. He's probably wearing a fedora or some shit.
Yeah. And
Why
is
do
he
we
wearing
never
a
see him
hat?
in a hat like that?
He wears some helmets when he goes skydiving, when he does a halo jump, but that's about it.
Right. He'll put a helmet on if it's the only way he can get air.
Yeah.
If he's at the part of the mission where getting air is important to him.
Yeah.
Sometimes he ditches it because
This goes bad.
having air is, you don't need that many moving parts. So when you have a big, intricate plan, sometimes you just have to cut some things loose, like breathing.
Yeah. Also say I really liked Vanessa Redgrave in this.
Oh yeah, she's amazing. Like,
Max.
Oh, okay.
Just
yeah.
it was
The-
just awesome,
wonderful.
and considering all the roles I've seen her play since then, it's just like, oh yeah, back in the '90s she played this role and she just killed it. I loved her character.
She's wonderful.
right, very fun, very
Flirty,
right,
Yeah.
flirty,
very
cool.
flirty
Yeah.
with him, like grabbing when she grabbed his ear.
Uh-huh.
I was just like, okay, well,
They
cougar.
like that one was good with the villains. Like, I really like the villains in the first one.
yeah,
The Max and then the John Voight turn or whatever.
Yeah.
Not whatever. That's is what happens. But right, the second one we should probably keep going because
yeah.
you guys have a hard out, and we were gonna do like 10 minutes per movie, but we've done
40
about
minutes on
40
one.
on the first
on,
one.
on Tom Cruise being a lawyer. That's what I was really focused on.
It's new firm.
Right.
That's what happens with Ethan Hunt in the future. That's Mission
Yeah.
Impossible 9. He becomes a lawyer.
Yeah.
I think
He's a
he should
day
just-
and night court guy. Just gonna try. I can't think of any more movies.
God.
it's night and day.
I'm just trying to make Jeff crazy.
No, my need to just say that. I've been
I love
fighting it the
so
last.
much.
You said it a bunch yesterday. I just let it go. I try not to. Right, my only complaint for
Now
night
you're
and
like,
day
man, I
is-
should have said something because then he would have gotten that tag right.
No.
I just can't believe that Cameron Diaz wasn't last name Day. Like, just do it. It's already stupid.
Yeah.
You already did a stupid thing with your title. Do one more stupid thing so that it will be awesome forever. Because you got to be, if you're not going to make a great movie, the stupider it is, the more awesome it is, and that leads us right into Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah.
Bjorn, it's time to shine.
Yeah. Jeff,
Bjorn's-
we were watching it and I was like, oh, I love this part. And I like it. And he's like, you do know this movie really
Yeah.
well.
He does, and I know it. I've seen it several times. The least of the franchise, but still more than I've seen any James Bond movie or whatever. Like I've probably seen the second one 6 or 7 times. But being a stoner who gets high to watch movies and mixing that with Mission Impossible 2 doesn't lead to knowing what's going on in Mission Impossible 2 ever.
Yeah.
My favorite part about Mission Impossible 2 is knowing that there is a 3.5, that John Woo probably has a 3.5 hour version that's awesome. And there was, you told me this,
Yeah.
a 165-minute like VHS version bootleg.
That got like circulated, but they can't find it. It's not in anything digital. It's not been, but there is like a rumor that one got leaked
Huh.
in
Yeah.
those days of like the Tommy Lee type
Oh,
leaks.
sure. Yeah.
Because there's a connection to Napster with this movie because the song "I Disappear" by Metallica is the song that people were downloading that led to the court case.
Oh.
And I for sure downloaded this soundtrack off of Napster, 100%.
See? The stupider it gets, the more awesome it is. That's dumb as shit. The fact that Metallica went to the mat over that song,
It's a terrible song. I love Metallica, but
and it's the first time they ever agreed to write a song for a movie. And that's what they did. And then that's what happened is now they're like, so they wrote a bad song for a bad movie and then let every one of their fans know that they're kind of chuds. And that Lars is absolutely a chud. And it just made people like, it just gave a lane for people like Dave Grohl to be like, whatever, just come to the show. And that like elevated Dave Grohl's reputation. Like all of this is because Metallica is dumb and Mission Impossible 2 made as many bad choices as you could to end up with a awesome movie. It has reverberations throughout Hollywood. Because how many things suck if Mission Impossible 2 is better? X-Men.
yep.
X-Men sucks. Charlie's Angels might be better. Tandy Newton had to drop out of Charlie's Angels because this kept
Wow.
going.
Do you know the X-Men connection?
No.
Dougray, the main villain in 2, Dougray Scott was the original Wolverine. He was cast as Wolverine.
Oh.
But because of this movie, he had a conflict, and then they recast.
He had to drop out, so they got Hugh Jackman to be Wolverine.
Holy shit.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? And I was watching. We were talking about this. It's like, I don't think he makes it past X2. Like, I don't.
No, it's a real. What if Nick Cage was Ethan Hunt? Well, then there might be 2 of these.
I don't think that there's as many if it's not. Yeah.
Right. I think they switch them as soon as they can.
Or
But we also just don't really have Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
There's not much of that. Also, Ian McKellen turned down the role that Anthony Hopkins took, and had he said yes to that, the production overruns means he misses X-Men and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Wow.
Holy
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
So this movie danced around fucking up all of Hollywood for a while.
So I think things happened the way they should have.
Right.
Yeah.
It worked out. And this movie, the version we got is fun. It has some of the like motorcycle fights and the kung fu that Tom Cruise does or whatever. Like, thank God they stopped that and made the fights look a little bit more. I mean, realistic isn't the right word, but
Less flip kicks.
Those flip kicks and stuff, it doesn't even look like it would hurt.
And kick flips as well.
Oh.
Sometimes he does the kick first. Sometimes he does it at the end.
I mean, the big climactic fight was that cartwheel kick.
Yeah.
And I don't see how that. Just throw sand in his face. There's sand everywhere. You throw sand, and that'll fuck a guy up for 10 minutes. You're blind. But instead, he does a cartwheel kick where you just get like tapped on the head by a foot.
Mm-hmm.
Like unless you got spurs on the fucking end of your shoe, that cartwheel flip ain't doing anything. It's just not. It just to look cool. But John Woo knows how to make things look cool.
He does.
Doves.
Slow motion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Doves.
All the
Pigeons.
I will say the one scene that sticks out. There's a lot of scenes that stick out, but the one that always replays in my head when I think about this movie is when he's I think chasing Tandy Newton on the roads, like curvy roads, and then their cars get stuck together, and then they start spinning. And in the middle of this action sequence, the music changes and things slow down, and it's actually their falling in love sequence too.
Yeah, it's like flamenco dancing.
And it's just the weirdest thing because it's like action, and all of a sudden just spinning really slow and just looking at each other, and it's just the tone of it's so different.
Wait, that's real?
Yeah.
This
that
is
really
a real...
happens in that movie, and it's an homage to GoldenEye.
Oh, yeah,
or
I guess
inspired by
kind
or
of,
whatever.
But it was just weird. I was just like, oh, now they're in love. He'll do anything to save her. It was just
right. And they do. There's a Fast and Furious movie where they do that, but Paul Walker got to jump out of the thing to grab the other car while his car goes over the cliff. That one's dumb.
You could have said anything there, and then Paul Walker, I would have been like, yeah, I'm sure. And then he flies through the air, and then he catches somebody else.
No, that's Vin Diesel does that at the one with the
and they redirect
from one overpass to another or whatever.
Oh
like catches him out of the air and lands on the other car. The car catches him. Anyway, we'll do a Fast and Furious one.
That was the scene. That was the scene where I was like, I don't want to watch these anymore. I'm out. That literally was. I was in the theater and I was like, I'm never gonna see another one of these.
I just bought all 10 of them.
Really?
Yeah.
That was the scene that did it for me. That was the nail in the coffin for Bjorn.
Which one is that?
Who knows? Five
or six. One of those.
5, 6, or 7. It was after the. Well, it's not 7. No. 7 was the last one with Paul Walker.
Yeah.
So it's 5, 6, or 7.
Yeah, because Paul's still in it. But
and they're a team because they're the adversary. Doesn't matter. We're not doing that.
We're not doing that one.
The second one is the most dated one because of the music.
The second Mission Impossible.
Second Mission Impossible has the Limp Bizkit theme song, the Metallica song at the end credits.
The leather jackets on everybody.
Totally.
The hair.
Oversized.
The
right?
Oakley sunglasses as the message in the beginning. Where else?
Right. He wears Oakleys again later, a different pair of Oakleys.
Mm-hmm.
This is what's funny about Oakley is they get product placement for this movie, and then the 2 pairs of Oakleys that get worn never really existed. Like
Really?
they weren't ones you could buy. Yeah, they were modified versions of. They were like Oakley frames that then the movie made cool.
And they had headphones in them,
Yeah.
so you could listen to the message.
Okay.
Right. So
Like bone
that's the
conducting?
second. There's a
Mhm.
lot of mass play in the second one. That makes it fun. There's that element. The long hair Tom Cruise.
His cousin.
His cousin William Apatow is in it. They don't play cousins, but it's his real life cousin. He's in it.
And then the underuse of Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Oh yeah.
You have him. And what were you guys saying? It was 2 scenes he's in?
Yeah.
Two.
Yeah, he was only in 2 scenes. It's such a waste of Anthony Hopkins, but at least it wasn't Ian McKellen.
Yeah.
Right. And not get him in those other ones.
Right. And there's probably, I mean, it's Mission Impossible 2, so there's probably an hour of Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, yeah.
And all that's left is two.
There's
two
a
scenes.
whole twist and a mask reveal.
Yeah, he takes off the mask and it is Ian McKellen.
It is Ian McKellen.
He takes off the mask and then stands up straight.
Yeah. Well, because you were just saying he's the only character in any of them to say Mission Impossible,
right? He goes, it's not mission difficult, Ethan. It's Mission Impossible. Why nobody even says.
No, it talks like that.
It's the Impossible Mission Force. So even if it was right, wouldn't he say it's not difficult mission, Ethan? It's impossible mission.
I kind of wish he turned to camera and winked at that point. You know?
I mean, he might have.
Broke the fourth wall. Who cares? A dove flies out like in slow motion as he does it.
Right out of his jacket.
His jacket pocket.
He takes off his top hat, and a dove flies out.
That's the movie
That part was confusing because I mean, some of what is confusing about too is the geography, because like all that stuff with Anthony Hopkins, like that looks like New Orleans. Or something. Like they're on like the second floor, there's balconies and there's a parade. It has a New Orleans vibe, but I guess they're still in Sydney. I will say that when I went to Australia, the first day I was there, I walked around until I could find the Opera House, and then I was just like, it was one of those rare buildings that's like a celebrity sighting.
Yeah.
I'd only ever seen it in movies, and movies that I like Mission Impossible movies, and it was super cool. And then to watch this movie and see like coming in the water, there's that bridge. It was like that was the bridge I was standing under when I could so that's where I'm looking. Stuff like that is fun.
I had that moment in the first one, all along the Charles Bridge in Prague.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
The right again, first one I stayed at the Drake Hotel once in Chicago.
Oh,
nice.
no shit.
Did you steal a Bible?
You don't steal them, man. You're allowed to take them.
Oh, you can just take them?
They want you to take them. The Gideons want you to take those Bibles.
Oh.
They will bring more. So it's not stealing. So the answer is yes, I did.
So the answer is I willingly.
I took a complimentary Bible as a souvenir. So just in case I ever double crossed my team and one of them needed a clue, it would be on the bookshelf.
Right in front of him.
Right in front of him. Yeah. Right at his eye line with Job 3:14 underlined.
Yeah.
That was the fun part of the first one when they were talking and he kept saying it out loud, Job 3:14. And it was like, oh, that's a real that's a crossword puzzle game.
Yeah.
Where you say it differently. If you can't find the answer, is there another way to say that word?
Mm-hmm.
Then he solved it. He solved it.
And then he sends a whole bunch of emails.
Right? First, so many emails.
So many emails.
Also, did you catch the email addresses?
Yeah, they were all Max at Job 3:14.
Yeah.
Job,
different languages.
Job space 3:4, like things you can't. It wouldn't send anywhere.
Yeah.
It was.
It's like 555.
Yeah, it was formatted the way.
They're like people might try to
write Bible verses.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but not the way you write email addresses. But I certainly didn't know. I mean, that movie came out in '96. I didn't know how to write an email address or an email until 2004.
That's exactly what I thought when I saw it. I was like, oh, everybody was just like, I guess.
Yeah, it was a long time.
They're like,
I personally,
stuff.
Yeah, patents.
Nerds.
What year was your first email address? Like, when did you guys first become online? Paul? Do you remember?
I think it was I want to say 98.
98? You had an email address in 98?
Because at school you had to create an email address.
College or high school?
No, this was high school.
Oh wow!
Like we had computer labs, so you had to create an email address. And a funny story, my email, because I wore a specific cologne, which was Polo Sport. And then I was a big James Bond fan, so it was 007. So my first email was psport007 at Yahoo or hotmail.com.
Hotmail.com?
But here's the about that. You're there already. So I kept using the email in my 20s, and I would get weird questions from gentlemen that I would email back and forth with.
That were getting the wrong idea.
They were getting the wrong impression about what I was into with P-Sport.
A different tree. Or not the right tree that they were barking up.
They thought you were the James Bond of Golden Shower.
Yes, that's what it was.
Oh man, I'm so dumb.
It was
okay.
I spent that whole time until I made that noise was me trying to figure out what the joke was.
It's a difference between Job and Job, right? Like P-Sport.
A little bit.
P-Sport.
But at least the two things I was saying are spelled the same. Yours was the letter P. Right? But again, I didn't look at it from the other way. I'm just looking at it like P-Sport, of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, makes sense. Polo sport.
right,
Why
your
not?
name's Paul. I would have just called it Polo Sport. Polo Sport 007.
Yep.
I mean, if I was going to follow yours, then mine would be G Woods 77 at hotmail.com.
Oh,
So if I followed your format,
That means something totally different in our
Woods and wasn't Woods the name of the Abercrombie?
Yeah.
Right, everybody had Woods because somebody at high school worked there, so
Mine
everybody had Woods.
Yep.
Mine
That guy
would
was
be-
real good at giving gifts. I don't know. His employee discount was, I guess, free.
Yeah.
Great.
Just take it.
Mine would be it would be BJ Dakar Noir.
BJDN
Yeah.
BJ
Dakar Noir.
006.9. I can't imagine why anybody's reading into this.
Yeah.
What are they? What about you, Randy?
What would yours be?
Shit. I didn't wear cologne growing up.
No. Just
Be like,
when
what-
did you join? Like, when did
that
you
would've
get online?
been-
Like, how close to Mission Impossible, the first one, did you get online?
Oh, it would have been like 2005 or 6.
So you were closer to Mission Impossible 3 getting online.
Yeah.
Me too.
Mm.
I had been around the internet. Like, I knew what it was, but I didn't do anything. I didn't get an email address till somebody told me, like, some older comic, probably the same age, just been doing it 18 months longer.
Yeah.
He was like, this is how you get booked. And I was like, oh, I got my pen out. And he was like, just email them. And I go, okay, what's that mean? He's like, well, you just get an email address.
Do I
And
have to download anything?
I remember that probably came up. I probably said that. I know for sure I asked if it was free. I was like, is it like, how do you get an email address? Is it free? And he was like, yeah, it's just sign up. And I was like, so that's how I got it, was after I done stand up long enough, 2 email clubs. I got it. My school had a computer, but it was in the office, and it was just to keep track of whether or not we showed up, I guess.
Attendance.
I took a typing class on actual typewriters. Sometimes when I think, like, I was just right on the cusp where it could have been, a lot of what I did in high school could have happened in any of the 40 years before. And then my brother was he's 2 years younger, but he got computers in his high school. Like, so his junior, senior year,
Yeah.
after I was out, he had computers to learn on.
We had these things called e-mates. I don't know if you know what these are. They're
It's those dogs. You feed them?
yeah.
Or you can slap them.
they're like I think they're Apple, maybe. I don't know, but they were just like they literally just had their black and white screen. You like flipped it up. It had like a handle and a keyboard, and you could just do like typing and I think
What was
like
that called again?
e-mate.
Yes, I remember that.
Okay, I'm not
100%.
crazy. I'm like
No.
it had like a very, I don't know, weird looking crazy cover to it.
Uh-huh.
They were the ones we had were green. That's all I remember for the first computer.
Oh, we were very bad at hard outs. What? Let's get back to the 2. What else? This is your favorite
I
one,
know.
Bjorn. Was this the first one you saw in the theater?
It definitely was.
And that probably plays
That
into
plays into it a lot. And
it.
I
Like,
was
how old were you when this one came out?
it was, I would have been like
15-ish?
no, I was 15 in 2000.
Yeah,
so-
so 15. You were 15. This movie came
It
out
came
in
out in
2000.
2000. Yeah, so yeah, be about 15.
I mean, that makes perfect
14,
sense.
15.
The Mission Impossible movie that comes out when you're 15 is yours,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, the first one was close to when I was 15, and I love it. Like, that would feel, I fucking love that one. And then all the rest. But that makes a lot of sense for, I imagine a lot of people who love 2 were 15 in 2000.
Sure.
just hits you right. It's a perfect movie for 15-year-olds.
I do remember
almost nudity.
We told our parents that we were seeing this movie. At least my friends did. And then we went and saw not America's Sweetheart, the one with Jennifer Love Hewitt and Hugh Jackman. Heartbreakers. Because my friend had a crush on Jennifer Love Hewitt, and I think it was rated R or something, or like they were embarrassed to tell. So we went and saw that one, but we told our parents that we saw Mission Impossible 2, and I was devastated because I wanted to see Mission Impossible 2, not Heartbreakers.
You wanted to see Mission Impossible 2. So your lie felt like an extra lie.
Yeah, I was like,
what? You felt you were lying to yourself too.
I
was. Just in case anybody's listening, he meant to say Gene Hackman and not Hugh Jackman.
Thank you.
Heartbreakers, I should like that movie more considering that's the name of my favorite band. But this movie's only PG-13, so I don't know what happened there.
I don't know why that we were like lying to our parents and we went and saw the other one. I no idea. And I was so mad about it. But the reason I know this one so well is this was one of the early DVDs that we had at our house. And so I watched every single piece of available extra content.
Sure.
With the commentary. I watched all of the deleted scenes, like all of the like interviews. They're like, yeah, this is a real not a real knife, but like it's a knife, and they put a thing on the back of it, and he really jumped onto
Tom Cruise. It's a real knife. Cruise.
It's essentially a real knife that he jumps onto him holding, and it just had like a cable attached to the back of the knife. So he like lands, so it stops.
Quarter inch from his eyeball.
Yeah.
Holy
and
shit.
like he's like really blinking at it. It's crazy. Like he really did that. And Tom's just like, yeah, look, we're like, this was so fun. And everyone else is like, okay.
I'm supposed to be Wolverine right now, dude.
I'm supposed to be Wolverine, dude.
I don't even need to be here for this. It's just a knife and an arm. Let me go to New Zealand and be Wolverine. I don't know where they filmed X-Men, but it was probably in Australia.
Yeah, probably.
Feels like a lot of shit. I mean, The Matrix was down there.
Oh, that makes sense. I didn't know that.
But yeah, I liked it. I don't know. I was really into it. Paul, you like this one?
Yeah, it is. It's really fun, and I think the tone on this one. I mean, from this point on, after this one, this was like kind of a standalone, in a way.
Sure.
So
a lot like the second or the first one was.
The first one was a standalone. The second one was definitely a standalone. But then, 3 on.
There's a tonal shift.
And it gets more serious.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, this one was just fun, and it's like just even watching. Like I remember the promotions and trailers in the movie when he throws his Oakleys
and they explode.
Oh yeah,
like it's just cool. It's just really cool. So I forgive anything about it. It's just just watch it. It's just fun.
He never sets like a charge. He always throws something and then shoots it to explode.
Yeah. It's just fun.
Amazing.
The only thing I have left to point out about 2 is of the 8 Mission Impossible movies, 2 is the only one where he's just doing a mission. He's not disavowed. He's not.
Yeah.
He hasn't gone rogue. Like he just the agency gives him a mission and then he just does it. It's completely sanctioned the whole time.
True company man in this one.
Right. He's not being chased by 2 sides, just one. And I guess the reason why, like, it makes a little bit of sense because the villain is a rogue IMF agent.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is super similar to GoldenEye, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, because GoldenEye is Sean Bean, the 006 or whatever.
Yeah. Is the bad guy.
Yeah.
And then there is a cool scene in 2 where he's like, yeah, he's like saying what Ethan's gonna do. Like instead of Ethan saying the mission, they actually have the villain saying the mission, being like, yeah, he's probably gonna go in through here with some crazy acrobatics. He doesn't want to kill anybody or whatever. And so he's like, he's gonna go through the vent. He's gonna do this.
And it was when we were watching it, I kind of realized the rest of the movies he's better at thinking like the bad guy. Like this one, he just does what the bad guy thinks he's gonna do. But and that might be why from then on, he's like, he might. So they're gonna expect me to do this, so I'll do it like this, and he just doesn't do it at 2. He's not as good an agent yet. He's still a good agent, but he's not the superhero Ethan Hunt that he becomes throughout the franchise.
Right.
He's just an effective IMF agent. But so that's 2. Now let's go on to 3. The J.J. Abrams one.
Mhm.
That one's yours, Paul. Like that's the one that you
Oh yeah,
love a lot.
I love
you and me both.
Yeah,
I love this one.
3's
Yeah.
just awesome. It's just like going back to what I said. It's just such a. It starts really gritty, and it just has a different tone right away. And I just love how like the first scene, there's the villain,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and it's just so intense. And and then the rest of the movie is just kind of dark. I guess
It's dark, but it's
dark,
still really fun,
and yeah,
and it doesn't take itself seriously.
yeah.
Like it's still such an enjoyable movie.
He's
Yeah.
less of a superhero. I think he's the least
100%.
superhero in
Uh-huh.
this one because like that one mission where they shoot the baseballs and then he like does some weird swing and then he lands, the window breaks and he slides. It's like none of it is smooth. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of in that one. There's a lot of like him kind of fumbling around and it feels more grounded
Mm-hmm.
to me.
Yeah, I will say, I think what my one gripe with this movie is just how, again, spoiler if you haven't seen it, welcome to the podcast. It is Kerry Russell's character. Like I thought that so I haven't watched it in a while. We watched it this morning, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I forgot she was in this. That's awesome. And I had like 10 seconds of elation. I was like, oh fuck, that's right. I remember what happens. And so that was just really hard to watch, knowing what was coming at the beginning.
Uh-huh.
What that does is it puts you on edge.
Yeah.
Because then you know about that opening scene and it puts this like underlying tension pretty beautifully. It's a cool
Yeah.
for that
And-
next scene where you're like, ooh, he might just kill her.
And can we talk about how, for what this movie is, how fucking hard Philip Seymour Hoffman shows up for this role?
Oh my god.
Holy shit!
3, 2.
He's an amazing actor and does really well with like big deal roles, like where he has to really put in the effort.
Yeah,
But in every now and then he'll take something like this where he could just chew,
Yeah.
and he does it in like Along Came Polly,
yeah,
And,
yeah.
like
yeah,
where the
yeah.
movies aren't serious or heavy, like it's just a dumb shit movie, and he just has a ball. Like this
Yeah.
is his only like mainstream blockbuster summer action, like being a villain in this is what's memorable. It's almost like the James Bond movie, like the villains are what
Mm-hmm.
makes the movie.
Batman's.
Yeah,
Batman's
Yeah.
right. It's always, and he is, of all the villains, he's the scariest one. The one in the entity or whatever from the last 2 is the most dangerous, I guess. But the fact that we don't know his agenda, and he's just mean
mm-hmm.
and
He's just fucking brutal.
right,
Yeah.
Just brutal.
capable of violence and threatening and whatever, but not knowing what he's after
Yeah. The rabbit's foot.
makes him
what's
so much scarier.
What is it?
Yeah.
Right? He has it. What is he even going to do? We
Yeah.
don't even know. We don't know shit all
Is it
about
a
him.
recipe for, I don't know, something? Like,
Yeah. Is it a literal rabbit's foot?
Yeah, it's a rabbit's foot.
Does it smell special?
It's a lucky
I
charm.
actually think Simon Pegg makes that joke in the movie. He's like, it's probably something real bad. I just assume it's always this real bad.
Oh yeah, he has that
life ender thing."
anti-god. Like
Yeah, the
whenever
anti-god,
anybody
yeah.
is that, when everybody's willing to pay this much for a thing, I just assume it's the anti-god.
That's
Some-
the
Right.
closest to an explanation that we do get.
Yeah.
I did read that Sylvester Stallone they were trying to get him to do something, either the Lawrence Fishburne role or the Philip Seymour Hoffman role for this movie.
Oh my
Whoa,
God.
that would have been bad.
That would have
It
been.
would have been
Both would've been
so
terrible.
bad. It's like, ooh, good thing that didn't work
Oh,
out.
that movie would have sucked.
It'd have been no more Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, because they do
This one did
take.
relight it, I feel like. The fuse on the movies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a good bridge between 2 and 4. Like, because 4 is when they really just change into this thing, this set piece to this set piece to this set
Mhm.
piece. It just goes from the opening scene to like the 4 has the. We'll get to 4 in a minute. But yeah, this has a little bit of both with the big action, but also the rabbit's foot is so confusing, and J.J. Abrams, I think, hides how confusing it is a little bit by playing with the timeline, like opening the scene on something that isn't something that happens later in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, so playing with that keeps that tension going without ever really knowing what the MacGuffin is.
Yeah.
But it is the one where he just wants to stay home. Like he is done. He just wants to be married and have a real life.
He just wants to train people and
then this one makes him want to just never be in love ever again because he never has a real love interest. There's no because 2 it ends with a kiss.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah. I think they were planning on bringing her back, but she said no.
And then it would have made more sense if she was the one they were getting married because they.
Yeah, because it had been established. We had already met her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we knew they've known each other a while.
Yeah,
and have things in common, like being on missions,
going to horse tracks.
She stole his heart in part 2, amongst other things.
Lifted it right out of his jacket pocket.
Yeah, his left jacket pocket.
The Ethan's heart. They're going number 4 is, we got to get our hands on the Ethan's heart.
What is it? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
I feel like in a way 3 had to walk so 4 and 5 and 6 could run.
Yeah.
Like it really, they figured it out. Like I think after 3 they're like, oh,
these are the movies.
These are the movies. This is the structure that we need, and that
this is the formula.
Because they were kind of
to run a bunch.
Yes,
like it needs to be 80% sprinting.
Yeah, mostly running.
Right. You're right, because it's all like the scene where they get Davian, Philip Seymour Hoffman, the scene where they kidnap him, and the scene where he does the fulcrum jump from the building to the other building. That's essentially the rest of the movies.
Yeah,
like those big set pieces.
Yeah,
and then the big stunt, and then that was the first
and the
big,
freeway
huge
scene
stunt,
too,
right? The freeway, the freeway shootout,
and he gets thrown against the car when the thing explodes.
John and I were talking about this the other day about directors that are responsible for multiple franchises, and like when I think about this one, Brian De Palma, you could say, is kind of responsible for Mission Impossible being a big thing, but really, I think this movie going as big as it did belongs to J.J. Abrams. Or this franchise going as big as it did. I think that goes to J.J. Abrams.
My dispute with that is this franchise. You're right. Like it's a fun thing to discuss in any other context. This franchise goes as big as it does because of Tom Cruise.
Well,
that's it. Like
because of his role in War of the Worlds.
Well, he got to by the time
War of the Worlds could walk. So no, wait. So Tom Cruise could run in the rest of these movies. There it is. Damn it. Oh.
By the time he gets to the 3rd one and the 4th one or whatever, he's just looking for directors that will let him do what he wants to do.
That's very
that
true.
makes sense.
Yeah.
De Palma and John Woo were probably the only 2 that were like, you make the thing. And you be the director. But after that, especially after Brad Bird and it being McQuarrie, like they really just mapped it out themselves with these are the things I want to do.
Yeah.
So they build the movie around it. And that's like JJ made it. The thing that he did was like the thing that helped it make the rest of them was that it was good. The 3 was good and fun and not 2. Not a movie that was missing an hour of the movie.
Sure.
They it's almost like they scaled it back. Like instead of like they didn't waste any time explaining the rabbit's foot because any explanation would just make it confusing. It's just they need to get this thing and he has it and it's bad that he has it and it's only okay when they get it. That's all you need to know. So it makes it a little easier to follow.
Yeah.
And you can just be big and loud and exciting. That's my take.
Sure.
I think JJ did for Star Trek, and then almost did for Star Wars. So 50-50. But you guys got anything left to say about 3? What's your favorite part of 3?
Oh man, honestly, the when he was on top of the building, although I hate heights, I can appreciate it in TV because anything that gives me high anxiety, if I'm looking at the screen like this, I'm having a really good time. So that was just awesome. And then just the beginning sequence too, like although it's heartbreaking, I always remember this movie because when he's trying to save her life and then she looks up at him and says the most heartbreaking thing. She goes, "Thank you." And then like
as she
that was just really sad. But yeah, those are that's what
right,
what I
1 second. What was it? 3 seconds before the thing was charged?
Oh yeah, like 3 seconds.
It's like
and then they got hit, so that the helicopter got on its side, so he had to save the lady from getting out there. And then so that was cool. But yeah, I just three's just I like the switch that happened with it,
Right.
and then it got me on board for all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Ever since I saw 3 and really enjoyed 3, the rest of the franchise was something I was excited to watch.
Oh, also the Rome scene was fun too when she comes up in the car. Just that scene. That's really fun.
Yes.
Oh, I just put it together in my head. The thing that you said, and this being the third one, and then he did Force Awakens and the Star Trek new thing. This is the third Mission Impossible is the only one that isn't the first one that could be the first one.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So he does a good job of
Resetting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
an existing thing.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
what Force Awakens did, and that's what the new Star Trek did. Like
Yeah.
2 made it like they needed a reset, and he reset it. 3 could be the first one.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
totally.
absolutely right.
And that's
But he doesn't reset it in a dumb way like Evil Dead 2.
no. No, he didn't remake the first one.
Remake the first one.
That's what he did. That's what he did with the Force Awakens.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and so he gets like instead of gum, he gets like some other candy. All right, it's lollipops.
You put the two ends of the starburst,
Yeah, you
stretch out the starburst, you flip them together.
Dumber. It's a now and later.
It's a
Right.
now
and now and later. You stick
Charlie
these-
Sheen's in it and says,
Yeah,
"No, I say
Charlie
garbanzo. Don't get it on y'all." I feel like this is, and then the elevator goes down but smashes his face.
Oh my God.
The impresario, right? It's just everything is just close.
Oh, man.
It's right. So 3 is 3 your favorite?
I would say a 3 because of the reset, and then then it got me to be a really big fan. I liked 1, I liked 2, 3 came out, and then I was even more looking forward to the next ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, 3 was just a great one.
That's really what it is. Is 3. 1 made me excited for more. 2 made me not excited for more, and 3 made me want there to be more again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That scene with Philip Seymour Hoffman in the plane.
Yes.
Oh,
when
man.
he's like completely
Yes.
vulnerable and he's just like, what's your name? I'm gonna mess you up. I'm
Oh
gonna
my
take
God.
whatever you love. And like he's even calm when he's like basically being threatened. He's like, he's like, I read you. You're not gonna actually do anything to hurt me,
Right.
but I'm gonna hurt you. He's just like, it's fine.
Dude.
And he's just so cold and just it's so
He's
good.
so fucking good.
Right,
in
the
this
chill
movie.
I felt in the
nerd.
theater when you hear the guy go, "Ethan, don't do it, Ethan," and then they bring him up and it quiets down and then he
goes,
says
"Ethan."
his name.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, you should have killed me." Long pause, Ethan, and you're like, "Oh fuck, is that enough information for him to find?" And it was. I
Yeah.
don't know what kind of computer he had, but
He knew
I
what to
didn't.
download.
Dude.
right, he didn't. He had that dude had a Dell. It was 2006. So it was the dude you're getting a Dell. Right.
Yeah.
I probably thought in 2006, Aaron Paul was the dude you're getting a Dell guy. I was like, oh, they're getting a Dell guy is her brother. We're all getting Dells.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was 1, 2, and 3 with the
Which one was Fallout?
Fallout
5?
is 6.
6? I
Yeah.
feel like the biggest disappointment of the series is that they didn't get Fallout Boy to do the sound.
How wild would it be if they break from that for 3, 4, and 5, and then 6 comes out, and they go, "We need to get a popular artist, but not a currently popular artist.
One that has been popular.
Right, we need to get one that people remember the name, but it's been a while."
They get the Dead Kennedys for the next one.
Right, because Fallout came out at like 19 or 20 or like
Mhm.
late. But yes, it should. That is good. Is there anything you want to say about any of the ones coming up? I know you guys gotta
Oh,
split.
man.
First
I don't know.
Khalifa.
I just I just like the team dynamic and building as it continues.
Yeah.
So like the characters are just so good, and I also like I love a strong female character in
Yeah.
these roles. So I think the last two, Haley Atwood, I really appreciated her character.
Yeah,
But my favorite's got to be Rebecca Ferguson.
she is so cool.
She's so badass, and like in that opera scene where she's like in that beautiful gown and she just puts that that gun together, and it's such a beautiful scene. So I just want to give it up to Tom Cruise is great, but I think the women in these movies were
been
spectacular.
Strong,
Paula
capable,
Patton, they're amazing. Yeah.
There's the killer lady in the fourth one, the Paula Patton.
Yeah, who ended up being she was in the James Bond movies. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right, like it feels like the timing just didn't work for an Ana de Armas or whatever to be in this.
Yeah, because she would have been fantastic.
I mean, she was great in The Gray Man.
Yeah.
Like, in a very similar role.
And she's got that John Wick spin-off coming out pretty soon, so that's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Ballerina. Right? Formerly it's called something else, or it's formerly the Pepsi Center in Denver. It's where the Nuggets play. Ballerina comes out next Friday. I don't know when it comes out. It's probably out already when you're listening to this. So what, like, overall, so Rebecca Ferguson, who's your favorite non-Ethan, Bjorn?
Oh, I mean, I really like Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he really does. It's like he's such a necessary piece on how stressful these movies can be. Where it's just like, oh my God, he's holding his breath, and we go to Simon. We're like, oh, okay, Simon. Like,
and he's kind of us in a way in these movies.
He is a real
Voice
audience avatar. They finally they put somebody in who's just the whole time being like, what the fuck? Are you serious?
Like,
that's the outside of the building.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. How are we going to do it? Yeah.
The inside of the building is scary enough. Look, just looking out the window is scary. You're going to go outside. Like, there needed to be somebody like that.
Oh yeah,
and he was perfect for it.
Yeah, to kind of ground it. I love. There's one of them. We've watched so many, and then like you've been watching different ones. The one where he has to like walk through. It's like he's Ethan's holding his breath, doing something with some cards or whatever,
5.
and no flippers.
That's a 5. Yeah.
He's
he's acting like this wasn't one we watched together.
We watched it together.
Not knowing that and just hearing, I don't know, he has to hold his breath with cards. It's like
He's
5.
like
The fact that that's just a thing you can recall, based on what I interpret to be is the worst description of a movie scene
Thank you.
ever.
Well, I'm kind of just glazing over because Simon has to walk down this hallway, which they install. One of the cards he has to install like his walk and the way he walks.
Yeah, security.
I'm trying to say, if I was just like, hey, Randall, when you walk down those stairs, do you start with your left or your right? You're going to fall down those stairs.
Yeah.
If I knew that they uploaded my walk and otherwise I'm going to get hit with lasers and killed, I don't think I could walk down that hall normal. Like, I would just be like, how do I walk? Is it like this?
The worst
Do I pick my feet up?
What do I do with my hands?
Yeah, what do I do with my hands?
You just start
It's why being an
dancing
actor
down
is
the
a job.
Yeah, right?
Right? Because you just go be normal in this scene and go, how the fuck, what do I do? I got these two what do I do with these? Do I put them in my pockets? We just kept thinking up different things that are normal, but we don't think, like if I go, hey, which hand do you hold the microphone with? Whatever you think the next time you go on stage, whichever the answer is, whichever one you do first, you'll be like, I think this is wrong.
I'm going to tell you right now, if you asked me that right before, I would just drop the mic. I wouldn't be able to get it out of the stand.
None. I'm going to stand behind it and talk guy now.
Yeah.
I'm going to break it in half and just hold this top bar like I'm Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury.
I'd never be able to do it.
There's no way I could walk down that damn hallway normal.
Right, but we'll get more into 5 in a little bit. Right, so we have 3 different dynamics because there's 8 movies we're talking about, and we'll be back with talking 4 and 5, Ghost Protocol and Rogue Nation. This is part 2 of our Mission Impossible franchise appreciation podcast.
Yeah.
This is the episode where we cover Mission Impossibles 4 and 5, Ghost Protocol, and Rogue Nation. I am Jeff, you know that from the previous episode. We're here with Randall.
Yep.
And John.
Hello.
You want to give John's intro?
Yeah, John's my partner.
Hey.
Okay, so I thought there'd be more. But now
It's his birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday.
my
Holy
birthday,
shit.
yes.
It's your birthday.
Thank you.
Wow, well, you're welcome. I can't believe
31 years young.
31. Oh my God, you are 2 years older than the franchise.
Uh-huh.
Right, because it's
96,
29 years. Right, you were born in 94?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I just turned to dust.
I see that happen quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, with me, maybe I just need more lotion. It is ashy.
I've seen more men turn to dust than you can fathom.
Oh my God! All right, so John is scarier than I thought, and that'll inform the vibe of the pod as I am scared. But you guys haven't seen 4 and 5, so we're gonna talk. I'm just gonna tell you about 4 and 5.
Yeah.
I guess there's stuff from trailers or whatever. You probably know stuff.
Well, I can interject and say that I have never seen any of these movies. I might have seen the first one when I was very, very young, but I don't remember.
2 years old. Your parents, they took you there.
No, I would have been. It would have been around the time that the second one came out.
Oh wow! So
you would have been
So I'd have
6.
6 years old.
Was the second one
2000?
2003? Oh, 2000?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I would have been about 6 or 7.
All right, so that's your. So you may have seen the first one when you were a child.
A wee lad.
A wee lad.
A wee lad. You just never went back to it. But you do like movies, so
Oh, yeah.
What do you know? Do you remember any scenes from just like the zeitgeist from trailers?
Oh
or
yeah, I remember him descending into the
vault.
the vault
Uh-huh.
to work on the laptop, and then
Right.
his cord slips, and he has to like
Yeah, that
balance
was the
himself
first
without
big,
touching the ground so as not to set the alarms off.
Very famous scene.
Right, that was the first big Tom Cruise stunt.
And then I do remember the end of the second movie when he's on a motorcycle and there's a big explosion. And
Yeah.
it just looks fucking cool.
They tackle each other off their They jump off their motorcycles. They tackle each other in
Yeah.
the air.
Sounds right.
Right,
And
perfect. Everybody's
he's one of the first male actors I've seen with long hair in a movie, and I thought that looked really cool.
Yeah, especially if it wasn't like part of the thing, like part of the character, like it wasn't Dazed and Confused.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It wasn't rock star. It was just regular action guy with long hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Long hair that he doesn't have in the other movies. It was just a phase for him.
Right. Well, he's got longer hair in the fourth one. Ghost Protocol. That's the one that opens. He breaks out of a prison
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning. Everybody calls him
Sure.
Dimitri. He uses that. That's an alias he used later. I think he uses that alias in the 7th one or the 8th one. Like, so it's like he has a Russian identity that comes up from time to time.
Okay.
Right. So the 4th one that's when they bring in Jeremy Renner, and it feels like they're trying to hand off the franchise to Jeremy Renner, but it was the same era where Jason Bourne was also trying to hand that franchise off to Jeremy Renner, and neither one of them worked. It did not happen. I personally don't. It's hard for me to find a movie that Jeremy Renner's in where I think The Town might be the one movie where like his performance is really great,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest of it, he feels like a guy that's like a little too much, like charisma or whatever, like
Yeah.
movie starness to be a TV guy, but not enough to be a movie guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's a good way of putting that. Yeah.
Right? It doesn't quite work. Like a guy that kills it in AAA, but when he gets caught up to the majors, he can't do it.
Well,
They
I think
call
that's an apt description of a character actor.
Yeah, he should
Too
be
much charisma for TV, not enough to be
A big star.
a leading man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then, like the Hawkeye show is the one time where like, oh yeah, he can carry this, but it
Mhm.
was a TV show. And then The
Mhm.
Town, but basically everything else is like, if it was Colin Farrell, it's probably better.
Which stands true for most things.
He's
Yeah.
he's good in Arrival.
He's very good in Arrival.
Yeah, but
There's
I
not
mean,
That's a
there's-
very toned down role though.
yeah. There's not a lot that he has to do, but he
yeah, I mean that movie's
he does the job.
pretty quiet. You don't
Yeah.
really need that movie is more premise driven than performance driven.
That's true.
Yeah.
And most of the performance you're watching is Amy Adams
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the aliens.
or the aliens.
yes.
Right, it's those two. So I like Renner. I'm glad he didn't hand it off. But the fourth one is the Burj Khalifa when he climbs outside of the building,
Right.
and he actually did it. as far as we know.
Oh, it's real?
Yeah, he really climbs
yeah.
like
He
the
claims
outside.
that like all of the big stunts in Mission Impossible are him. There are stunt people who say otherwise, but yeah,
But
I have
they're
heard
just,
that he does his own stunts, but I haven't heard.
they're also
there's
just stunt people in general who say it. They aren't stunt people that work on the movies that Tom
Right.
Cruise does. It's the stunt people that made the John Wick movies who are like, I don't know. Like, there's some references in The Fall Guy to about the Tom Cruise thing, and it feels a little like, come on, like what? This is a weird swipe to take
yeah,
because it doesn't affect what you're doing at all.
right.
But it's
It is weird that like the purpose of having stunt men as different jobs is that they can get hurt and go like out of the game for a while, and the fact that that's apparently never happened to Tom Cruise if he does all of his own stunts is a little.
yeah, it puts the movie in more jeopardy.
Yeah.
Like that's why Ryan Gosling had like 7 or 8 stunt doubles in The Fall Guy, because by the end of it he probably just had one.
Yeah,
Right, you can only fall off buildings and get run over by cars and shit so many times before you're like, I gotta take a few days off.
yeah.
Use the other guy, please. Use one of the other 6. But yeah, as far as we know, he did it, and I have no actual reason to believe he doesn't, and it's fun to think he did, so I'm just
Yeah.
gonna keep doing that.
Yeah, same.
Because that's what I'm doing when you watch a movie anyway. You're just like, oh, he's really doing it. Like I'm used to imagining him doing it.
Yeah,
Because I've seen a movie before, so this one's also fine. But it is like that's the big stunt from the 4th one, and it is awesome. It is another one where I'm a little confused about what's going on. There's nuclear bombs being stolen, nuclear codes being swapped. They have some technology where they might be able to get them different codes, but that thing breaks, so they have to take the risk of giving the real codes. But then they're like, the idea is we'll give them the real codes so that we can move on to the next part. We'll just stop them at the next part. They tend to do that a lot. Take big risks.
Have these movies reached a level of ridiculousness like The Fast and the Furious?
Well, they haven't gone to space.
Okay.
They go to space,
And
or
the
at
10th
least
one.
break the atmosphere in 9 or 10, in like a Fiero and Fast and Furious. So no, it is oddly more grounded while also being like the technology doesn't exist.
Sure.
Most of it.
Right.
I don't know if it does or not. But it's climbing that thing was super cool. The reason why, whatever, computers have to do it. There's always a server that's hidden behind too many locked doors,
Mm.
so you can't get to it from the inside. You can only get to it from the outside, or from
Yeah.
the top, or from the vents. There's always something like that. There's a big car chase fight scene in a parking garage at the end of that. That's pretty cool. They end up kind of throwing cars at each other a little bit. It makes sense in the movie. This is the one I've watched 5, well, because I saw the most recent one in the theater on Thursday, and then Saturday, but today's Sunday, so in the last 3 days I've seen 6 of the 8 movies, and the 2 that I haven't are this one, Ghost Protocol, and Fallout,
Okay.
which we'll talk about later with the Raz.
Does the new one match up? Is it?
Oh yeah,
Is it us? Okay.
yeah. It's very good. It's a nice send off. They do a good job closing it up or whatever. Like if this is the last one, it was a satisfying finale to the series. It should be.
That's good.
They made it. I mean, if there is another one, it would be this. Then this one would be stupid.
Well, it's hard to do that many movies with the same lead and to maintain like a consistent quality.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean they're
Absolutely.
just right. We'll probably talk about it when we bring the Raz in for the last part of this, but they have run out of stunts.
Yeah.
Like, they've done all the things you could do on Earth for real. He's held
Yeah,
his breath.
yeah.
He's jumped. He's skydived. He's climbed things. He's crawled through things. He's fallen down things. He's hang glider, airplanes. There's not much left in the realm of other than just like, what could they just set them on fire
Think of
and
a
then
stunt.
nothing hurts them?
Think of any stunt, a random stunt.
Fucking
Indiana Jones.
Yep, that one.
Ride the boulder. He has. I mean, he's probably.
He hasn't been
something,
chased by a big boulder yet.
but he has had to get out of a room with a real short countdown.
Sure.
Similar. It's not an actual boulder,
Similar
but
enough.
you're running out of time.
It's
the
a
same,
metaphoric boulder for
same
sure.
premise, same idea. Gotta get out of here before that bad thing happens. Traps. There's traps.
Uh-huh.
Has Mission Impossible done the Indiana Jones thing of the darts that come out of the wall?
I don't know if they've done. No.
Is that even in Indiana Jones, or is that just
that's
just
Indiana Jones.
an adventure movie trope?
Oh, I think that's the first one, right?
It's in the first
Yeah.
one, yeah. But no, I don't think they've done that. They do. It's generally just like because it's the future now. It's not whenever the Mayans or
Oh
whatever
yeah,
were-
sure.
So instead of having to shoot poison darts, it would just be like gas come out of the wall, and they have done
Yeah.
that. There's been that. So a more modern day version of the darts from the wall probably would be that. 6 has Benji's a field agent.
Benji is Simon Pegg.
Benji is Simon Pegg's
Okay.
character, so he gets to be in the field. Ving Rhames is in it.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Renner, right? They have to get the team together. Ethan's gone. Oh no, that's in Rogue Nation. We'll get to that one in a minute. I should have looked up what 4 was about because now I want to talk. Right, I'm much more familiar with 5.
They have to do Ghost Protocol. So like they have to.
Oh yeah, the Ghost Protocol. The Kremlin blows up in 4. They have to break into the Kremlin to get something. So Tom
Yeah.
Cruise dresses up like a Russian general. Benji gets to go in as like a aide or whatever. They have cool gadgets. They steal a thing. Another guy's stealing a thing.
Is the 4th one where they have the wall that they have to push
Yeah.
through the hallway? Yeah, that part's dope.
Right, so they have a camera that makes it so they have this projector screen that just looks like the hallway. Then they move it up, and then it resets. So the guards at the end of the hall, it just looks like they're looking at the hall, but they're behind it. It's pretty neat.
It's really cool.
Like that.
Yeah, it's cool. And then the Kremlin blows up, and that's when he has to escape from the Ghost Protocol, where the joke with the hoodie, and he sneaks out of the hospital and
Yeah.
zip lines down a power cable and lands on a bus and has no shoes and steals a hoodie and shoes off a table and sneaks away. There's good stunts in 4.
Mhm.
But they also
That's why I never leave my shoes on the table.
never. You shouldn't. You never know who's gonna Ghost Protocol his way through your shit.
It's happened to me too many times.
People just Ghost Protocol in your shit. Right. You just turn your back for a second.
Ghost
and you just got
Protocol.
Ghost Protocol.
I did realize something when I was sitting on the floor waiting for the previous episode to finish recording. I remembered that Tom Cruise's cousin is in the show Lost.
Yes.
And his character's name is Ethan.
Whoa. That's pretty wild.
I don't remember that.
I think they did that on purpose.
I mean,
It was-
probably.
I mean, Lost came out like several years after Mission Impossible 2,
Yeah,
so
it's 2004.
it could have
I get
been.
weird.
they give him the name of the guy from his cousin's name. Weird.
And that's absolute. Like the writers of Lost did that shit with so many different
Well, I
characters.
mean, in that time too, J.J. Abrams would have been at least prepping for 3, because 3 came out in 2004 or 5.
6. But
6.
yeah, I mean, Lost started in 05, so he, probably spent a year working on Lost and then a year working on 3 and then made
Yeah.
3. Yeah, it is. I lost my train of thought. For Ghost Protocol is like I like the shift from what it was into Ghost Protocol. It made it a little easier to make the movie, I guess, because this is when they really lean into it's just set piece, and then they'll build the story later.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
figure out the stunts, and then because it was they did that the whole time, but like in the first one they think up those scenes, but how many of those scenes are there in the first one?
There's
3?
3 or 4, yeah.
Right, the second one has a bunch, but we have no idea what the second one was supposed to be, and we might never know
Right.
because almost as much was cut as we get to watch. The third one is
Mm-hmm.
a J.J. Abrams movie. He might as well just call it a MacGuffin and never explain it.
Right.
because it's the easiest one to follow, but the hardest one to explain. Because what the fuck is the thing?
Yeah.
Nobody knows. They don't even attempt to give you any explanation until the most recent one, the one that just came out.
He's good at making movies where things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And things happen.
And things just happen.
Yeah. And Mission Impossible as a franchise is good at, after every set piece ends with a regroup scene. And in that regroup scene, somebody just has more information.
Yeah.
It's either somebody calls in or there's a note, or just one of the people is like, now we need to get to here. And you don't question it because why? Who cares? Maybe his sunglasses talked to him again. And we just didn't see that part. But that's what makes it. That's what makes those work with the set piece. But like 4 is just so many in a row. The prison to that thing to the Kremlin to the Burj Khalifa to the parking garage, and then you build the story. But it's easy when you just have to put a scene in between each one of those that tells there's an expo dump.
Yeah.
It's just some exposition real quick.
Which I don't know if you knew.
We have new intel. We need to go to Burj Khalifa.
That's how these movies are actually made. They come up with all of these set pieces and action sequences that they want to film, and they film them, and then they figure out what the story is to link all of them together, and then shoot all of the interstitial stuff. That's how all of them happen.
This is how you make an action movie.
The first one didn't lean into that as much, but even down to De Palma directing it, that's how it was done.
Was that how the show was made?
No,
Back in the
the show
60s?
had way less stunts and was way more mass and getting in and out with nobody knowing.
You're
Like,
telling me that a TV show in the 1960s was not a high caliber, action packed adventure involving.
Turns out, no.
I mean, it might have been for the '60s.
Yeah.
But who knows? It was a very different vibe. It was a lot of mass. Like I remember watching it, just mass in every episode.
Yeah.
That was the thing that I thought was cool.
You'll see that a lot of the tactics they do are predicated on creating and wearing fake masks.
Oh, Scooby Doo, yeah.
Right. Or sometimes they can't. And then that's where the problem comes.
Yeah.
The thing broke, or they don't have enough time, or some shit like that.
Is it? I mean, is it Tom Cruise actually wearing
Only in the first one.
prosthetic masks?
Only in the
Okay.
first one.
I
I
vaguely
feel
remember
like the
that.
third one has some practical bits to it.
What do you mean, to the masks?
Yeah.
Well, the third one,
No, you know what they did? They did that thing where there's 2 rooms that they're filming in simultaneously, and they have Philip Seymour Hoffman in one, and then Tom Cruise putting on the shit in the other. And the camera's just circling.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's some of that, but it's the first one is the one where like Tom Cruise wears a senator's mask or some shit, and then they show you the senator, but that's just Tom Cruise in the mask again.
Yeah.
But the rest of the movies, it's a person that's in the movie that he's wearing the mask of.
Yeah.
There's no way that you could make a mask that good. Like even the John Voight one at the end of 1. I guess when he pulls it off, like that must have been
Oh, I watched it last night. It's very clearly CGI
right.
when he
and
pulls
that-
that mask off.
Right,
it is.
because
In the first
96
one?
CGI.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right, but that's the one time he wears a mask of somebody that's real,
Yeah.
or that's in the movie. The other one is just a Halloween costume. Anybody could do it, just weird.
A mere disguise.
Yeah.
Right. It's right. So the fourth one, I don't know, is great. I loved it.
I remember the fourth one coming up a lot on Doug Lowe's movies.
Yeah, Doug really liked the Ghost Protocol part
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
The hoodie, pop his hoodie up and initiate Ghost Protocol.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's what's on all the posters. It was
Yeah.
the hoodie.
Yeah.
It's the hoodie episode.
The fifth one, Rogue Nation, me and Doug saw that together in a movie theater while we were at a film festival. We left a film festival to go to the mall to watch this movie the night it came out, and then went back and watched movies later at that caught the midnight ones at the film festival. That's how much you want to see Rogue Nation.
That is so deliciously on brand for both of you, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that whole week I was watching movies all week, but the whole time I was like, Mission Impossible Friday. Mission Impossible Friday. Just couldn't wait. That's where they add Rebecca Ferguson, the Ilsa Faust character, and Solomon Lane, the Syndicate. The Syndicate shows up and is the main villains in 5 and 6. The Syndicate was the main bad guy organization on the television show. Is the IMS version of Spectre or whatever, the James Bond evil corporation bad guy group. I can't figure out organization.
Yeah,
that's the word. So they finally bring that in, and that as a bad guy, as a villain, is it's regrettable that it only hung around for 2 movies. Like all the disavowed agents got gathered up by one disavowed agent, pulled together a bunch and created just an underground like bad guy group of everybody that used to do that job for whatever their countries were. So they are a formidable, scary villain. They're all well trained, but this guy his name's Sean Harris, I think. Plays a Solomon Lane guy, and he's real quiet, whispery, calm as a villain. That adds some fear to it.
Yeah.
But also he has an agenda, so is a little less scary than Philip Seymour Hoffman in 3. But this is a real Ethan might be crazy because it's all this. There's this plane crash happen, and then this accident, and then this thing, and it caused this and that, and it's a shadowy group that he believes is real, but there's no real evidence yet. Then the bad guy gives Ethan just enough, like they meet at the beginning. So now Ethan knows for sure they're real, but he's the only one that knows for sure they're real. So it's still a hard sell for everybody else because people just think he's lost his mind on this. He's like too deep in the IMF game. And lots of stunts. There's a opera snipers in an opera situation. There's a gun that looks like a flute.
Hell
but
yeah.
It's really a gun, but it's a flute. But you crack it and they put the gun and you try to shoot the fucking Chancellor of Norway or whatever. Whatever was happening in that one at that moment. Some shit happens. They escape. Rebecca Ferguson and Tom Cruise have to rappel down the outside on like a flagpole or whatever. It's very exciting. A lot of mayhem. They get away from that moment. There's other car chases. They go to Casablanca for a little while, so they're in Morocco. He flips a car backwards, end over end.
Hell yeah.
That's after the holding your breath scene, where he's got to go switch out the security code for the. So Benji, Simon Pegg got to steal the thing. This is the gate thing we were talking about at the end of the last one. And he is in the water. Like, he held his breath for a while there. He had the record for the longest holding your breath because he actually held his breath for a little over 6 minutes. He learned how to do it. Yeah, he learned how to do it. According to the movie stuff. But this is, I mean, he had the record.
What I've read, you can only do that if you like breathe pure oxygen beforehand. Which he might have done.
He might have done. Apparently, Kate Winslet broke the record in the new Avatar movie and held her breath for just over 7 minutes. Damn. That's insane. But in 5, so there are, over the course of the franchise, Ethan Hunt full on dies, I think 3 times.
Cool.
So he dies at the end of 3. She has to zap him because of the bomb in his head. To turn that off. So dies at the end of 3, she brings him back.
I love getting those details with 0 context.
Right?
That's very...
This is when he holds his breath. He's underwater for 6 minutes, but before he can get it, he gets the thing done just in time, but passes out because of blacks out. I mean, passes out seems a little soft, but he's just unconscious from no oxygen. So he's drowning. She saves him and has to bring him back to life. And then I think in that thing we were talking about in one of the newer ones.
And Tom Cruise does his own stunts. He medically died on film for the movie.
Right? I wonder if he did. Did he really? He probably didn't actually die, but 3 times the character full fucking dies.
These secret Scientology practices to
And that doesn't even
quiet all of the vital signs in his body.
That doesn't even count the time he broke his leg so bad the doctors were like, it'll take you a year to walk, 2 years to run if you can ever run again. And he was back filming the movie 8 weeks later.
Fucking really?
Yeah, so maybe, I mean, Scientology seems weird, but I don't know,
Maybe
man.
they've got the secrets.
Jeremy Renner got ran over by a snowcat a few years ago. He's still all fucked up.
Yeah.
It took Tom Cruise 8 weeks to do something doctors thought he couldn't ever do again. He was back filming, finished the scene too. You could see where he breaks his leg.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and Fallout is gnarly. It's rough. And it's right after a scene where you think it would happen.
It always makes the best take when they actually get hurt.
Right? And his producer brain kicks in, so he finished a shot. He pulls himself up and runs past the camera. And then just at that moment, production is halted. I'm imagining they shot it all in sequence. So as soon as he gets past the camera, he's like, all right, everybody go home for a little bit. His legs fucking in a couple of different directions. Because he has a lot more running to do in that scene. He is not done running. I mean, he probably did all. They probably backload the stunts.
Oh, yeah.
It's like worst case scenario. Maybe you do have to use a stuntman for some of these, but the movie's done. But we already know that's not how they do it. They film the stunts first. They film the big action things first, and then go in and because if you know that and you go in, it's always separate. The scene where they find out what they have to do, that's a separate scene than when they start, or it's a voiceover as they're going into the thing to do it. So that's how they do the set pieces without knowing what they are for sure. Because the holding your breath scene, Benji to switch the thing so he doesn't get caught, they filmed that whole scene without knowing what he was stealing. They hadn't gotten that far in the script yet. They just knew that scene was going to be in it.
I love the confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it worked. And this is what it might be a better way to do it because it's definitely an effective way to do it because these movies are effective.
Yeah.
But it might be better because I've watched these other action movies and they try to do both the things at the same time where they're explaining it and doing it, and then you have nothing to cut. You got nothing to edit. If you do have to cut something, you're going to leave in the thing that costs a lot and looks cool.
Right.
So then we're going to lose some exposition and not fully know what's going on. This is what happens when you make these movies. But if you just do it this way where it's action, big action, big action, big action, and then in between explain it. But they don't ever say when they're doing the swimming and the holding your breath and the Benji thing, they never talk about in that scene what they're doing or what they're stealing because they don't have to. They'll figure that out and put that scene in later. I like the way they do it.
Yeah.
I feel like John Wick, I feel like John Wick doesn't really even have a lot of exposition. He just runs around and shoots people.
Yeah,
they explain things a little bit in a couple of scenes, but that's not important.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that movie doesn't need exposition as much because the first is just the first one. They kill his dog, so he kills that guy, and then the Russians are mad, and then the Russians are still mad.
It's a rampage.
It just keeps going, right? So the first one has that. The second one is we thought you were out, but if you're back, then you owe us. So it all just stems from that one thing,
Right.
and then they just shoot stuff in cool rooms. And every now and then say a thing like "Welcome back," and you're like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
It's a big coin instead of money. What is this? And they built the world like that. But Mission Impossible, you can't really do that. More stuff is necessary to know what's going on
Yeah.
than just he's good and they're bad.
Yeah.
Although he's good and they're bad, that's also effective.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see Nobody 2. That trailer dropped and it looks fun as fuck.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, Nobody 2.
We watched Nobody, right? No. Oh.
I have not seen Nobody.
Bob Odenkirk playing basically John Wick.
I ain't seen Nobody.
Right, he's a real. There's always the guy used to be a thing and now he's not, and then he gets drawn back in. And in those movies, the guy that gets drawn back in still looks like he's that thing.
Yeah.
But this is like, this guy works. He just had like a job, right?
Yeah.
He just had like a regular boring ass job, but he used to be a thing, and then he looks like a regular boring ass guy. It's the best version of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because he never seems like a superhero until he doesn't even seem like a superhero ever. He keeps getting his ass kicked, but he does. It turns out he is effective. He just has to commit to being that again.
Yeah.
That's
I
pretty
do
fun.
like him. Bob Odenkirk is very convincing as a used car salesman.
Yeah. Or it turns out he's very convincing as a fucking killer guy you don't want to fuck with.
Yeah.
But then you watch The Equalizer and Denzel works at Home Depot and you're like, nah, I don't buy it.
Still haven't seen those movies.
Whoa.
I know.
Whoa.
I know.
All right. Well, I've seen him a lot, so it evens out.
Turns out when you're an actor and you reach your 50s, it's when you get the I'm getting too old for this shit kind of parts.
Denzel got a
And
lot of those,
you
too.
still get to do all the fun leading roles.
Denzel had the entire Equalizer series, Man on Fire. I thought he was younger, Man on Fire.
But he was still not the thing anymore.
Right.
And that's not that far from Crimson Tide, where he seemed young in Crimson Tide.
Yeah.
And
Or
then
even like
just
Training Day.
7 years later, Training Day was just a year or two before Man on Fire, and he still. I mean, he seemed like he was at like 40 or whatever. But
I don't even know how old he is or when he broke out. I think I think Philadelphia is the oldest movie I could nail him in.
When was Glory?
Poor choice of words.
Glory was the late 80s. He was in a couple of things in the early 80s. Then he was on St. Elsewhere, and then he got back into movies after St. Elsewhere. And it was a lot of. I mean, Malcolm X was probably
Malcolm X. Yeah.
huge. Like Malcolm X was huge. That was a big deal. Like face on the poster, big deal movie. You know, Mighty Quinn, stuff from the late 80s. Good, but not big. And then like Ricochet and Malcolm X and
It's hard to cast someone in the leading role of a biopic who looks exactly like the person.
right.
Yeah.
And is a good actor.
And is also
Yeah.
Right, you get real lucky with having Denzel when you want to make that movie. Otherwise, it doesn't work as well.
No, it sure doesn't.
But that's a good movie, and a handful of the Spike Lees, Mo Better Blues, right around that era. More sense, but right around then. Then Philadelphia was the next one, probably after Malcolm X. That was like 93. Yeah. So that's where Denzel came from. We'll do a Denzel run someday. But what do you think? Do these movies sound exciting to you?
They sound very exciting.
Yeah.
I want to sit down and watch all 8 of these movies right now.
Oh, hell yeah. Maybe we could. I mean, we could definitely watch 7 of them right now. I have 7 of them.
I do too.
On my phone.
No, I have 6 of them.
I got them on my phone. Where are yours?
Plex.
Okay, so yes, on your phone as
Also
well.
on my phone.
Twice. On the phone twice.
Right. But just so people know, when Randall says Plex, he buys the shit and then gets it to Plex.
Yes.
He's not a pirate.
I'm not a pirate.
And for
Not all
people
the way.
for people watching at home, John isn't either. It's just a hat. But right, so these are. I mean, the Mission Impossible.
I call this my lesbian biker hat.
Oh, okay, all right. I was born in the 70s. I don't the things you 94 guys talk about. I don't really.
You don't fuck with?
I don't know. I mean, I don't. There's not even much I can say. I can't. Yes, and this isn't gonna give me anything I do is just gonna get me canceled. I ain't doing saying shit about that hat. It's a cool hat. If you want to take over the boat, I'll let you. I don't care enough about this cargo. Just let me leave. Like, let me go. Right? I don't want to fight you. You can have it. I was briefly a security guard at a building in downtown Oklahoma City, and I worked noon to midnight. And I made like $7 an hour, but it was in the 90s, so it was the equivalent of $6.50 an hour now. And they were like, "You gotta protect this whole building." I was like, "What the? If something happened, I'm not doing anything. Like,
yeah, while we're on the topic of action movies, like that's the position you really don't want to be in.
No, the security guard dies.
Yeah.
That's why do you think I was never at the desk? Why do you think I changed clothes as soon as the guy that worked the other shift left?
Yeah,
Took my fucking uniform off.
You get one line and then you die without any warning.
No, it was a full, like, if somebody came in, I would just be like, the vault's on 2, clock me out at midnight. These are my keys. There's vending machines. There was, if you go to 30, there's a way to get to the roof. That's pretty fun. I smoke J's out there. I can show you, but can I just be on your team? I mean, as soon as you're done here, either you kill me, which I really don't want, or I get fired, or I can just come with you. I got skills. Look at me. I'm a security guard. I have the uniform.
Tell him all the vault combinations you've already tried.
Yeah. That was a weird job. There was a thing in the basement with like panels that showed everything how everything in the building was working, and there was like a sequence of like if it's like this color, then this color, and this color, whatever is bad. And they explained it to me. And as soon as they got through like one whole sequence of it, I was like, I'm not gonna remember this, so I'm just gonna every time I come down here, I'm just gonna hope for the best. And if there's no like alarms going off, I'm just gonna be like, everything's fine. Never had one idea what any of that meant. But I did find out the guy that worked the other shift would tell me to yell at the skateboarders would come and skate on the front steps. He would be like, you gotta get them out of here. And instead, I just made friends with them so they'd go get me food. I invented DoorDash in 1998, but it was just me giving a skateboarder money to go pick me up a sandwich, which he would do, so I wouldn't make him leave.
The cease and desist is in the mail, DoorDash.
Yeah. You can, if I could find these skateboarders from the late 90s in Oklahoma City to back me up on my claim, you owe me some money. Just at least just like a free subscription. Just give me a Dash Pass for free for a year. Come on. Help me out. I invented it. We find out the guy who did invent DoorDash is a skater from OKC. I just figured out a way to do it for everybody.
It's like, yeah, there was this really cool security guard who got me thinking about this cool business idea.
I appreciate you saying really cool. That was nice of you. It was 1998 in Oklahoma City, so maybe you're right. It was a in the room situation. You know what I mean? It's always a sliding scale based on what else is in the room. You could be it's why an Ohio 10 and an LA 2. It's just a room. You didn't actually get worse looking. You just walked into a room with better looking people.
Yeah.
So Oklahoma City 1998, I was fucking Shaft, but the rest of the time, just Norm, just Richard Roundtree. Not even Sam Jackson. I'm not going to take that. Sam Jackson might be the one real person that's cooler than Shaft. Fake Shaft. Isaac Hayes.
Yeah.
The singer. Yeah. All right, so that's 4 and 5.
That's 4 and 5.
I think we did it.
I agree.
We did a full ass all day Mission Impossible franchise. I'm saying all this like this is the end of the second part.
Yeah.
This is the end of the second part. We have a third part coming up where we bring in the Raz to talk the last 3 movies, 6, 7, and 8. And just go, these Mission Impossible movies, they're fun. They're just fun. It's what the movies are for. All right. Like I said, we're back. We're going to bring in the Raz to talk about, to wrap up this Mission Impossible franchise appreciation bonus episode. And we're doing 6, 7, and 8 with our buddy the Raz. So you saw 8 last night.
Yes, sir.
Damn.
Right? I saw it. Paul saw it. Bjorn saw it. We all saw it. The 3 of us saw it on Thursday. You saw it last night. We all love these movies. You and I very much. This might have been the first thing we were like, yes, we're in complete lockstep agreement on this nonsense.
It's arguably the best franchise ever. Like, and I'm talking pound for pound. If there's more than 3 movies, I should say, right? Like Back to the Future, 3 is still a great movie, but those 3, like Mission Impossible, the Mission Impossible movies to me even the worst one is better than a lot of bad movies or a lot of good movies. Do you know what I mean? Like they're just fun across the board. So I think I'm a big, as you know, Jeff, a big Mission fan and Tom Cruise fan. So
Yeah.
I love these movies. Yeah,
That's a bold statement. I got to say, best franchise.
No, I mean I'm with
look
them
at
on
Star
it.
Wars, dude. Out of the 9 Star Warses, 6 of them are garbage.
I'm thinking about Child's Play personally. I love Child's Play so fucking much.
Even Seed of Chucky.
Sure.
Yes,
I mean,
all right.
Yeah. Now we're
All
gonna
of
if we're
them.
bringing.
We're gonna go
I mean,
all
Conjuring's
direction.
got great solid ones too.
There's 7 Tremors and a TV show, man. So maybe we want to pump the brakes on best franchise.
How about that Evil Dead?
But no, I'm kind of with I'm with the Raz on this. Like 8 for 8, where like 2 is there's a great version of 2 somewhere, and it's just the studio's fault we don't have it.
Mhm.
So as far as I'm concerned, it's just 8 for 8. So much fun. As far as simply like delivering on its promise, I agree with the Raz. To make 8 of these, I mean, it's like 18 hours of movies or whatever that just all rip. They're all fun as shit.
And they all just top each other too. Like it's just the
Yeah.
anxiety level every time like I watch them just goes higher and higher.
That's
and higher.
my only spoiler for the new one. Is maybe take like a lorazepam or a
See,
little weed
here's the
before
thing-
you go into the theater.
But the
'cause
thing
woo,
that
baby.
the thing that you have not understood about me yet is I fucking love stressful movies.
Okay, well then
I
you'd
love
really
them.
like these.
You'll like
It's
Yeah.
It's a stress
Yeah.
sandwich. They're
Hell-
like, you don't even
Oh.
need one scene. It's like usually there's a hacker and something crazy going on. No, this is like the hacker has a gun to their head. It's just the whole thing.
Oh, I'm
while
so in.
delivering a baby.
Yeah,
and it's just
there's-
like
it's
Yes,
what's going
nuts.
on.
Yes, finally.
that's
Yeah.
great.
And there's a countdown.
Yeah, there's a
Always-
lot of clocks.
I feel like there's is there
Always
not
a
a countdown
countdown.
in every one of
While
these
Tabitha
movies?
from
Yeah.
Salon
There's a lot of
Takeover is talking.
countdowns.
in
Pretty
their
sure
ear.
there is because we just watched so many
Here's
of
the
them.
deal.
Yeah,
Any movie that has a 10-minute countdown that lasts 2 hours,
Right.
I'll pay to see.
Right. And we're starting with Fallout. So Fallout is the perfect example of a 15-minute countdown that takes 30 minutes. And
Dude.
I have
Hey,
no
Guess
complaints.
what? Take my money.
Yeah. I'm mad it
All right.
wasn't 40.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's look, Fallout's again a great movie. You gotta. It sets it up right. The fist fight in the bathroom. It sets up these two opposable forces that cannot beat each other, but also win or lose. So it's like it immediately. They're very comparable adversaries that
Right.
need to work together, right?
Sure.
Right.
And he fucking cocks. He
Right.
fucking-
Oh, God.
he
That's so
cocks his-
cool.
he cocks his fists, dude.
It's one of the coolest things I've seen in a movie
I love a good fist cocking.
that I can't. Right. He like snaps both arms and it unbuttons his shirt. And then he just throws down. It's incredible.
I
It's
could do
a-
that with my belly.
Yeah, it's one of the best fist
While
fight
your buttons
scenes
pop.
in any of these movies.
Dude, anybody whose forearms can pop the cufflink buttons,
Yeah.
like I'm on
You're
board.
sold.
Call me.
Okay.
sign me up. It was great. Fallout. Go ahead.
No, I just want to know, like, what are your favorite? Like, Fallout's got some incredible stunts. Like, what's your favorite parts of like your favorite stunts in Fallout? Or scenes,
I mean,
fight
the
scenes.
helicopter chase is great,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I love the whole third act is just a amazing movie. Once they go to wherever, his ex-wife is at, they need to play that game, and that's where is it going, and they're hiding and they're on eeach other's ears and they're still trying to act like they're not spies
Yeah.
in front of his wife, like he's just a doctor, right? That whole third act is just such a great climax. Like it's everything on. Then you got the helicopter thing, and then you got the fight on the thing, on the fight on the cliff. It's the bathroom fight. It's really it's a great movie. Like it really is. Fallout is a real great movie. Fallout is. They bring it back, and people say they bring it back, and I even just said they bring it back. But really, if you look at the release dates, it really, as an adult, it was only like 4.5 years, 5 years between 3 and 4. right?
Right.
So then the similar thing where everybody's like, oh, they really brought it back with 4, Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, and Fallout, but it was only 5 years in between. It's kind of no different than what we had a little bit with a couple of the later ones anyways, with like 3.5 years or whatever.
I think
so
the space between 2 and 3 is the longest gap. Like that's a full 6 years.
Right.
Yeah.
So to like, but if we're going in terms of like trilogies, right? You got 1, 2, and 3, then 4, 5, and 6, right? 6 is a great. It's the way they circle it back to the Rogue Nation guy, and they bring him back as like the guy that they gotta what they rescue him in the when they take him underwater, right? That was in Fallout 2, or was that?
It's the beginning of the 3-part car chase. The truck chase,
right?
To the car chase, to the motorcycle chase, just a constant, and then he drops through the thing into the boat. It's like 30 minutes of fucking, and it makes sense. It's wild that any of this shit makes sense, but it does.
It's such the magic tricks they play with these types of espionage heist type of things. That's what I love about a good Mission Impossible's got heisty elements where they're planning a thing and then it doesn't go as planned, so then they gotta figure it out, as they say in every movie, But then it's like a magic trick, right? Like, and then they show you how it's done, and then they have just a straight up, him running or him chasing a thing, or them chase of each other with the choppers, and it's just the Fallout is such a great movie because it's got all of that, right? And then it's got the story, it ties it all together. And then, dude, and even Fallout, like the opening scene where they have to pretend like they lost just to get the guy's information.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They build a whole set. They fake news this guy into telling them what the bombs are for.
Yeah, they Simon Pegg does the Wolf Blitzer mask. It's so good,
dude.
It's so good. I like the additions, the character additions in 6. The White Widow, Max's daughter from the first one.
Yeah,
and to never make that clear, there's one sentence in the movie that if you don't catch it, you don't know, but it's her daughter.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it's cool. I like, and they did that in 7 and 8 too, where they brought more people back from earlier stuff. That I think that's cool.
Right. Well, and even in 7, they had that throwaway line too on the train where he's like, he's talking about her mom, right?
Yeah.
So it was such a, if there's, the Mission Impossible movies are filled with Nepo babies doing cool things.
Yeah.
In universe Nepo babies.
Oh yeah, there's more. we might not, let's not spoil that one because it's in the newest one, but yeah, we'll talk later offline about that shit.
Right.
But so exciting. Right. So now let's talk about Dead Reckoning. What was your favorite stuff from Dead Reckoning?
Here's the thing. Dead Reckoning is, it's long. I love all of the movies.
Yeah.
I thought it was really, really fun. I think it was the story. I still don't love the entity part of the I don't love that, but I guess you need to keep ramping it up. So I didn't love the plot as much of Dead Reckonings, but in Dead Reckoning, first off, Part 1, if we're going to say the full name, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, and then they drop Part 1 because not enough people go. So that's a whole nother dumb thing.
Right.
But I get it. The train thing is such. I was talking to Ian last night. I'm like, it's such a funny thing because in number 1, right, you have a race on a train. They're running on a train and they're doing stuff with the train. And so many movies have these, train chases, right? Mm-hmm. People are running on a train, whatever. And this movie is like, hey, let's have a train chase, but let's have the train falling off a cliff.
Right.
And that's such a funny spin on it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, hey, let's have them run through a train, but why don't we have the train be perpendicular
Yeah, they had to make it. They had to raise the stakes. They already did a run through the train one in the first one.
Which I feel like that whole decision is just Tom Cruise. I feel like that's one of his musts, because that was the whole reason the train existed in the first one. He signed on because he wanted to chase somebody on a train.
Yeah.
It's that name me two bad movies that have a train chase.
Fuck.
You know what I mean? Like it's a modifier. It's such a fun.
It's a flavor
cliche
enhancer. It's like umami.
You know.
I can name
100%.
one that
it's like.
I can name one that everybody agrees is bad, but I like because the only thing I remember is the train part.
Which is
The Lone Ranger.
Here's the thing. You can't prove that's a bad movie.
Right. All I remember,
You can't.
I have this thing where I watch a movie and I only remember the parts I like. So, like, when I left The Lone Ranger, all I remember is he rode a horse on top of a train. So that movie fucking rips.
Hey, dude. But also, it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's
And I
not
don't
a
remember the
gut-
parts
like,
that
it's
people
a-
complain about.
I
Also,
like this
because
movie,
you're not
but
supposed to.
there's
Right.
Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild
As a
West?
train.
Fucking.
But I love Wild Wild West.
I love
think
that
Wild
movie
Wild
so
West is
much.
fun.
I just love the story of the spider,
Again.
but
I know people don't like it, but I can't name any movies I don't like that have this. People don't like Solo, but I think the fact that there was a train heist in Solo makes the movie 30% better.
I mean, to prove your
Hold
point,
on, I
Raz,
lost you. I lost you there. I lost you. I thought I heard you say you liked Solo.
I do like Solo. Of course I like Solo. But let's not talk about the movie Solo, but the train part was pretty cool. Robbing a train was
Yes,
fun.
trains are cool.
Also, if I can bring it
Yeah,
back to
trains
Wild,
They called it.
if I can bring it back to Wild Wild West for a minute.
Train heist.
Yeah.
Name me a better movie with a giant mechanical spider. Name me one.
All right, so Wild
You
Wild
know,
West
one
is
we watched.
tippy top of that list. I can't. I mean, I wonder if there's even a better movie with half a.
One
Kenneth
could say,
Branagh.
I believe Incredibles didn't Incredibles have a giant mechanical spider?
There's only 4 legs.
What did
There's a big robot with legs.
one of those, but yeah.
Yeah.
Brad
robot
Bird.
legs.
Brad Bird.
Well, I have a train example kind of adjacent. Like, so when I was watching the scene in the theaters, I instantly thought of the game Uncharted. Where
Oh.
there's a section in the game, I think it's the beginning of Uncharted 3, where you literally your train fell off and you're climbing up the train. So I instantly thought of that. So adjacent, Uncharted, the movie was terrible,
No train.
but no train.
They
They
did
forgot
climb
the
up.
one good part.
They did climb up a falling shipping containers flying out of plane.
That's true. So
They sure did, dude. And that was fun, man. That was fun,
It
dude.
was.
Do I need to see? Here's the thing. But you played the game, right?
yes.
See, I'm not a nerd, so I like cool things. You know what I mean? This is why I don't read books and I don't play video games.
Fair enough.
That's wild.
Hold on, I lost you. If you guys can hear me.
We can hear you.
Yeah,
I
we're
can
still
hear
here.
The,
Oh, there we go. There we go.
I just need to get some aloe vera for that burn.
But also, and again, back to Dead Reckoning, dude. All the car chases, the chase in Italy, where they're in that tiny car. The humor in it is so great. It's so funny how they switch spots.
yeah.
And then they go down the stairs. Then 3 months later, they did the same thing in the new Fast movie, and I'm like, watch this in Mission Hospital. But the car chases were great. You know, it was Dead Reckoning. You remove the AI and the Isa, whatever that guy's name is, Asa, whatever. Remove that guy from Dead Reckoning, and you just have, you know, Luther being badass and the car. It's fun, dude. It's Dead Reckoning's got the set pieces are great.
Yeah, especially the summer. Even the
What
beginning.
about yours?
scene.
What are your guys'?
I really like the beginning sequence with the sub, and just all of that happening, and that was just awesome because I can't stand being in small spaces. So there's that anxiety thing right off the bat, and I hated
Yeah.
it, but also at the same time I loved it. It was so great. It was a great way to start a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think
It-
they
it
should have
was-
tried to thread the needle a little bit between, right? So we watched 3 and they don't explain the rabbit's foot at all. And then you watch 7, and they explain AI, that the entity, a lot, and it's like, just do a little bit do a little bit in this one, a little bit in this one. It doesn't need to be this much or none. Thread that needle a little better. It's kind of wild that it was 5 movies later where they even attempted to explain the rabbit's foot a little bit.
Right, without giving spoilers, agree.
Yeah. They bring it up again.
I'll be honest. That was my biggest. I think we've talked about this, Jeff. That's my biggest gripe with number 3. That's why I disliked 3 probably the most, because you have all these movies and they're like, hey, this is what's bad. This is what's bad. This is the bad guy, and this is why you need to save the day, and this is bad. And then in 3, they're just like, oh, it's this thing, we don't know what it is.
Right. They never do it. We never do. And it's not in a fun way.
Tell me what it is.
It's not fun like Pulp Fiction. It's like they use just 5 too many words to tell us about it. Like if it was just that thing, like just a vial.
But they do show us how the masks are made, which I really appreciated.
I love that.
I always wanted to know how these masks were made.
Yeah,
I mean the masks. I've been a fan of the show since I love that this is all the same universe of the TV show.
Yeah,
that's what I love. I love that it's just this giant, universe, and I love the mask. I mean, people, number 2 they go a little crazy, but
yeah,
I love how and even in these newer ones, I would have liked a little bit more masks, because they did kind of only do a oneer each movie. I feel like they've only did a oneer thing with the masks, and I think that was always a fun twist. It was a fun. The masks were always fun.
Yeah, the first one I think there's 3.
Right, Fallout is the last time where they really did like mask trickery. There was that cool scene at the beginning of Dead Reckoning, but not much. But the first one was the only one where it was practical. That's why the guy that Tom Cruise wears a mask, when you're seeing the real version of him on TV, that's just Tom Cruise in that same mask.
Yeah.
They didn't do the CGI. They hadn't figured that out yet, but
I did catch one CGI in the first one of him ripping a mask off, but
my dad loved the show, so we watched that show when we were kids. Me and Troy did.
Yeah.
So at the end of 4, when he brings up the Syndicate, that was pretty exciting for me, because that was their villain in the show. So I was psyched,
right.
They're bringing this shit back, the Syndicate. And then to wrap that up in 6, take on Solomon Lane, a scary guy, but again, we did talk about it. But 3, I think the Philip Seymour Hoffman villain is the scariest villain. It's not the best movie, but as villains go, him having no agenda and just being he's the closest to the Joker that Ethan Hunt has to fight.
Yeah.
Everybody else is bad, but they have some ideology, whatever, something driving them, which makes them somewhat predictable. This guy is just, I don't even know if he's we just watched it yesterday. I can't even tell what he's going to do with the rabbit's foot. Is he selling it? What the fuck? Is it for money? What, it's just because
JJ didn't even know.
He doesn't know, right?
It's like that box on his desk.
Right. Right. So, all right. So 7, so 8, what was, let's talk a little bit about Final Reckoning. Not too much. No spoilers really, because it's just out, but you liked it, and
I liked it, man. It was there was I really enjoyed it. I really thought it was fun. I've seen people on the internet just bashing it and etc. And there are things there were things I thought were cheese. There were things I didn't like, but I liked it. I mean, it could have used a little bit more humor. I feel like the others had a couple more jokes, and I don't really remember there being that many overt, purposely jokes. But I did no, there's no spoilers. We know from all the advertising and everything, there's a scene with a submarine.
Right.
And that felt like it was a complete, they almost kind of went a different route. It didn't feel like a mission. I'll be honest. It didn't really feel like a Mission Impossible movie. Like there wasn't a lot of the score going on during some of these things that didn't make me feel like it was a mission movie, but the whole sub scene felt like it was like a Cold War movie. Like it was just a cool espionage. Like it felt like a cool like in 1980s, 70s, almost like just Cold War thriller type of movie.
Yeah.
During that scene, and that, I mean, that was awesome. I was, that was a great scene. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that.
It does. The only thing I have about this last one that even might be like around the corner from a complaint, and it's not really. It's just because they've made 8 of these. It didn't feel like the stunts felt like bigger versions of earlier stunts. Like we had the breath holding scene, we had the airplane, the side of an airplane, we had the jump it. Like they had done all this before, so but they're out of stuff to do. Like what else could he do? Like there's no climbing, there's no taller building.
He's doing it shirtless, Jeff.
Right.
He hasn't. I feel like this movie, he was like, he just wanted to prove that he's still in shape from Top Gun.
Yeah.
He gets naked like to his boxers, I think 3 times, maybe twice.
All right.
I can't wait to watch it again and wear out the tape.
Like wild
It is. I mean, you're absolutely right. Like it does. Like, look, there's only so many car chases. Every car chase is a car chase. Every motorcycle chase is a motorcycle chase. Running on the top of a train. Airplanes on the sides of airplanes, just as a smaller airplane. The holding the breath for sure. Like it does feel like they're just bigger, or it's like the new iPhone, right? Like it's just the same.
It's still an iPhone
with different things.
No, I agree.
My only.
Yeah, it's not a complaint. It's not a complaint. It is just, I do see why he would be like, this what has to be the last one.
Would you prefer seeing him chase somebody down on a Lime scooter?
Sure.
Like,
I would love for him to ride a fucking horse on the top of a train.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't he ride a horse in the first part of this? Yeah, he rides a horse.
Is it on a train?
No,
it's
garbage movie.
It's the beginning of Dead Reckoning. He's on a horse.
Dead Reckoning.
When he goes to find Ilsa in the desert.
The only my only, and it's not a complaint, but there was a little too many previous Leons for my there's a lot of previous Leons.
That's true. I do. I mean, I like the addition of Dunlow. Like I just like bringing him back to give him like dignity or whatever, because he was just such a chump in the first one.
Right, but again, I don't need a million flashbacks. Now I get people. I get they do for people who haven't seen all 7, or all 6, or all the other ones.
Yeah.
But I did. I mean, like even and even like the Force Awakens, they're not like it's and that one was the first one in how long? They didn't have a million flashbacks reminding who everybody was. So that was kind of a thing, but it was
true. I mean, the only thing they need to do would be.
I thought it was fun. Like
there was that long speech at the beginning by the president that was just a recap of Dead Reckoning. And
right,
like I get what that's there, but warn us. I'll go smoke if you're gonna recap the last one, because I watched it yesterday because I knew I was coming.
Well, and even that is like Dead Reckoning ends. It opens and ends, I believe, with Kittredge doing a voiceover.
Yeah.
So why wasn't he doing a voiceover in this one?
I don't know. I think they just wanted to show us that Angela Bassett was the president now, and that seems wild that she made the jump from CIA director to president. Because even H.W. Bush had to be vice president for a while.
GHWB.
Right? He had to,
I guess that's true.
He went to he had the vice president experience to do it, and she just went like, nobody. There's no fucking way a CIA director is going to go straight from that to president ever again.
Right. That's
or
true.
ever before. It never happened before either. It's a pretty wild choice, but I liked her as president. It is always a bummer to see a movie with a president that's competent at times, right? It adds to the stress of because you're watching this fantasy and this horrible thing, and then you're thinking like you move it to real life at all, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Right.
The person who would deal with this now is
100%.
not. He would just be like, "Can we?" It'd be like
Where's the
the
button?
president at Don't Look Up is like, "I think there might be some money to be made."
Yeah.
We do that next. We got to do the thing where we all stay alive first,
Right.
and then we figure out if you can make money off of it.
Right.
But
also, I mean, I also kind of think like, and again, I enjoyed the movie, but when I talk about movies that I enjoy, I still can find things that, like there didn't seem like there was as many set pieces as previous, right? Like
right.
There's like 2 or 3 big ones, whereas the other ones, I feel like there's some tinier ones too.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do go from one to the other. They basically is just a straight line. And this one has, but this one also has a lot more looking at each other stuff. Like,
dude, it's got so
shots.
many.
Yeah.
So many looking at each other's that were filmed at different times for people's schedules.
Yeah.
And so many scenes where, like, next time you go see this movie, whether or not you buy snacks or you get a drink or whatever, play this drinking game. I'm going to play this next time. Next time you go see this movie, and again, I love this movie, but I roast those that I love, right?
Right.
Next time you go see The Final Reckoning, take a drink. Every time it's one person on screen, but they're either on this side of the screen or they're on this side of the screen. Nobody is ever in the center. Every shot, there's so many shots where someone's talking and they're like this.
Yeah.
Like every time the black dude who's in the military from the previous movies or whatever, I think he was also in Top Gun Maverick. Every time that older black dude who kind of looks like an older Chris Rock, every time he's talking, only him on screen as a close-up, take a drink. Because there's at least 4 scenes where he's talking to somebody and it's a close-up shot of him like this.
Yeah, they really they leaned into like the emotional part of this being the last one. And and that's fine. I don't hate it. It does feel weird to make a movie be 2 hours and 50 minutes long where you could cut out 20 minutes of looking and the movie is the same.
Right.
Like, we all still know it's the last one. There's enough dialogue to hit that emotional punch.
I feel like it's not going to be the last
100%.
one.
I hope it isn't.
Here's the
thing.
Oh, they did it. Now that we get to now that we're like, so we've talked about these 3. Should we give our pitch for what should happen now? For what the 8th one or the 9th one should be? We were texting about it the other night. So this is where we came up with, and this checks 2 of our boxes for me and the Raz. Ethan's turns out he really was John Lark. And so the next one starts and he is bad. They send an IMF team. They sequester his IMF team. It's like Simon Pegg and Haley Atwell, whatever. They don't believe that they didn't know. They send another IMF team. Ethan just whoops their ass. So they're like, I guess we got to use the guys that know him. But they bring in somebody from an outside agency that has no ties to the IMF. And that's Ryan Gosling. And they never say it out loud, but it's the gray man. And now the gray man is hunting Ethan Hunt. And they could make 10 of those and it'd be the fucking best.
That would be fun.
That would be.
Here's the deal. You give me Ryan Gosling in the Mission Impossible universe, but only if he plays Ryan Gosling in the Mission Impossible universe. Because Ryan Gosling's humor, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you got to give me
he's
that.
So good.
You got to give me the guys.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, give me
the
guys
gray man, the
being
nice guys, the fall guy. Like, he's very funny. He can really deliver that line, that kind of tossed off a casual line in a heavy situation, like stuff like that. He's really good at it.
You got 100%. Like you know how they recruited Fannie Newton. Oh, she was a pickpocket, and now she's the IMF agent for hire. Or Haley Atwell. Oh, she's just a pickpocket, but now she's suddenly on the IMF team, and she doesn't know what's going on. Give me that with Ryan Gosling. Only he's way more competent, right? Like, give me.
Right.
He knows what he's doing, but he's still like. He's like, give me give me him, or like, you know, have Ethan Hunt be like the John Lark, or better yet, is have this whole time have it be like this whole time Ethan Hunt's been somebody else wearing a mask.
Right.
Yeah.
Ethan Hunt could have died in the first
part
one.
Yeah.
Ever since he got
and then he
cut,
rips the mask off, and it's Emilio.
It's Emilio the whole time.
Can we have Emilio come back with just a giant hole in his face?
Yeah.
Yeah, or like it's even that is like you can still have Tom Cruise be in it, have Ethan Hunt be locked in a thing, and he hasn't been saving the day the last 30 years. He's been locked in a jail cell this whole time, or like he's been held captive or something like that. You know,
That's
like
a great idea.
Hell yeah! See, they should hire us just to pitch them possible twists. So this leads me to this. All right, so that there was one other thing that popped in. In 7 and 8, there was a brief conversation with the Haley Atwell character and a reference to something from earlier in Ethan Hunt's life, where this is the closest they've got to us finding out how people end up in the IMF, but they never actually, right? They give that speech to the Haley Atwell character, and the only clue we get is we all got this speech at one point. So were they all criminals? Like, is
that's the thing. Like, then that's kind of some of the retconning that I kind of dislike to an extent, because I get they're expendable to an extent, right? Where they're like, you know, if anything happens to you or your team, we will disavow any knowledge of it. So I guess that's kind of a way to get around it, is because they're not actual government assets, right? But it kind of retcons like even the series. Like, there's something cool about like the black dude with Shea Wiggum and the I mean, he's in both of these, right? Like, they're part of the IMF, are they not? Is Alec Baldwin, Alec Baldwin and Kittredge, like,
I can never tell. I think Kittredge was the IMF secretary in the first one. I'm not 100% solid on what he is in the last two. Alec Baldwin started the first time we see him, he's the CIA director, and then he's the IMF secretary, and Angela Bassett is the CIA director.
Right.
But yeah, I guess I bring that up because that is just, they show us how the Gosling becomes the gray man, and then he's briefly referenced that it seems a similar way to end up in the IMF, except that Benji was just a computer guy who ended up passing the field test.
Right.
So he definitely wasn't.
So there's kind of there are plot holes in that sense of how do you get recruited, right? Like, because like you said, Benji was just a nerd, then he got on the market. Jeremy Renner, they were doing for a minute where he was just an analyst, then he was in the field. So how do you maybe there's just multiple ways to do it, but also the fact that, you know, it's interesting because they're these criminals, but also if they're that good at being a ghost, why would you not join the IMF, get the resources to then just disappear and never be found again?
Right. That's that's the plot of the second one, essentially. So what would of all the people that were on Ethan Hunt's team? This is our last question. So you can get back to your Sunday. Who is your ideal IMF team? Like, if you could put together from the series. There isn't even like a limit of like, okay, so the team has 5 people. Like, just who would you like to see together from the series?
I mean, it's a real tough thing because, number one, I mean, Simon Pegg is like it's a Simon Pegg and Luther and Ethan are such a perfect team.
Yeah, right. So I guess just pick 3 others. Like, those 3 are locked in. But like so.
Sandy Newton was kind of like, I don't know. I mean, the Paula Patton was good. I can't remember her character. Ilsa Faust was great. She was cool. It's tough because they really killed it, like, with the team the last 3, the last 3 and a half, the last 4. They really nailed it because, like, in number 2, you had that one, the helicopter. Like, none of them were as memorable as now. That's also
The Australian
saying
guy.
because they,
Right. The Australian
you
guy.
know, they were only in one movie, but
I know it was
Jesse
I like-
Pinkman as the
Right.
brother.
Aaron
Aaron
Paul.
Paul's in it?
Aaron Paul's
Oh,
in the
shit.
third
In
one.
the third one,
Wait,
yeah.
he is?
But not on the
Yeah.
team. He's Tom Cruise's brother-in-law.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
yeah,
Lawrence Fishburne's in it.
Yeah, I guess the easier
yeah. Lawrence.
answer
I mean,
is that,
but again, Lawrence Fishburne was the boss.
Yeah,
he
he's
wasn't
the boss.
a field agent.
He's not in the field.
yeah, I guess I don't. I guess my
You
answer
know?
would just be that helicopter pilot is probably the worst one of the whole
I
series.
mean, and even Kerry, you know, like as far as I mean, I did like Jeremy Renner. I would have liked to see more with him. Like, I would love to see more because he was kind of like the straight man version of it too. Like, it's nice to have the humor and the we'll figure it out or the looks, and it's always nice to have somebody. And Haley Atwell, she was, you know, copy and paste. You know what I mean?
Right,
she
she
could have
took
been
Tandy-
anybody.
She was Tandy Newton's character. Like they just needed
100%.
they
Like,
finally got another pickpocket, and like I like that skill set as one of their team. I do in a weird in an odd kind of ironic way. I think the way that the team is at the end of this of 8, that is a team I would watch in a movie by them, like on their own. Like if Tom Cruise is just done making these and they make one where Simon Pegg is in charge and then they add a couple more with this group, I'd be into it. I'd watch it. I'd still go
if the
day of.
Goz was part of it, maybe.
I mean, if the Goz was part of it, I'd give to their GoFundMe.
Yeah, but also, and here's the thing: is it's tough because look, I'm a Mission Impossible fan. I love the series. I love this is again. I love the idea of it, but they really kind of Tom Cruise really did something with the series where he made it his series, right?
Yeah.
So if you remove Ethan Hunt from this franchise, do I care?
Mm.
I want to say yes because I like the franchise, but also
Do you like the franchise for something that's not Tom Cruise?
It's a good point. I
what
mean,
am I invested 30 years later in watching some other team that could be cookie cutter, copy and paste, you know, or is it like Solo where it's like call it a different spy movie and I'm on board.
Yeah. Make it its own thing.
Or do they make it a
You know,
hour-long
like-
series again on TV?
he should be the boss. They should make him be the boss.
You know, but here's the deal. Like they're making a Top Gun Maverick 3. They're making a Top Gun 3 and it's like what are they going to do? Like 2 was such a perfect movie. Nobody wants to see Ethan Hunt be the boss.
Fucking
Nobody wants to see-
volleyball in a pool.
you know-
What do you?
Yeah.
Right? That's a good
Yeah,
point.
but nobody like we want to see him doing cool shit. We want to see Maverick. We want to see Pete Maverick flying a jet. We want to see Ethan Hunt running, even though he would have been faster if he took a car.
Always.
No, you
Always.
bring up a good
God.
point because like it's the same thing with like Twisters essentially. Like what do we do? We're chasing tornadoes, but
I love Twisters.
without Bill Paxton. What is this?
Right. I mean, you're talking to guys.
well,
who,
yeah, but it's Twisters. There's multiple.
Yeah, there's so many. It's a different movie. They added more twisters.
I love Twister. I'm
not saying it's bad, but-
It
Right.
would be better with, but that's just basically this. That's true about every movie. Basically, is it would be better if Bill Paxton was in it, but we don't have that
Right.
option anymore.
they could have called it Tornado Chasers,
Yeah,
and it would have been. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it is. I agree with you. Where it is like
They could have called it Twisters and used a different font and not got sued, right? Like that's like just enough.
Twister's
Or
Resurrection.
Twista, starring Twista the rapper.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah.
I'm gonna say no to that.
Okay.
Well, we should let you. Let's let you get back to your Sunday, man. Thanks for joining us on our Mission
All right.
Impossible
Yeah, thanks
franchise
for having me, boys.
appreciation.